What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. I've been waiting on this therapy session all week, Mr. Reid. It's needed. This has been a rough week. Yeah, I mean, it's been a draining week, man. I needed this. Man. So been looking forward to it all week, man. But we about to dive into this today. How you feeling today?
Well, I tell you what, man, it feels like I've been on a roller coaster, but hey, it's Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Friday, man.
Been a
Plenty
lot.
to be thankful for. Plenty to be thankful for. I seen some of those videos of the hurricane that hit New Orleans, man, and
Yeah.
it's rough looking and just yeah. And I think it was it a flood up in New York that they had? I think because they got some of the bands of rain. They say they up to 15 people who passed due to that. People who were stuck in basements and houses and couldn't get out. And I'm just thankful, man. Even though it's been a long week, I'm thankful, man, because that could have hit Jacksonville.
Yeah, and I was in New Orleans like what 9 days ago, for 10 days ago for that second preseason game. I
Hmm.
spent 24 years there. I went through that Katrina thing, man, and just seeing how that storm looked on the radar, man. It was I don't know, boy. I tell you what, I don't wish that
What
upon
up,
nobody.
Chels? Yeah, oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. So we're gonna get into this today. Y'all see the topics, man. So we're gonna talk about this Urban Meyer. I mean, it seems like every week he starts a fire that he has to put out. Cam Newton getting cut by the Patriots. Asante Samuel having some interesting comments about his former coach. Um, the high school that isn't a high school, Bishop Sycamore. Man, that story is wild, man. That story is wild. We definitely going to get into that and dissect that story about Bishop Sycamore, the high school that doesn't exist, that played 2 games on ESPN, and even though they don't exist, it's crazy. And also, your man's Anthony Davis has some interesting comments about. Well, it's reported comments about Dennis Schroeder and how he didn't. He said Dennis Schroeder didn't set him up the way Rondo has set him up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it's a report. It's not. They're not saying that he said it, but they say it's reportedly that's how he felt. So he hasn't come out and said it himself, but we're gonna get into it regardless. So
Well, one thing, hold up when you say that.
yeah.
One thing about AD that people should know,
Mm-hmm.
his dad is like his PR person. When AD
Oh,
don't
okay.
say things, it gets out through his father because his father didn't like Monty Williams, and that Tweety Bird used to come to the media, and it would never be from AD. It would be from his father. So, sound like
Mm.
that bird is in chirping in LA right now. I can tell you
Uh,
where that source come from if it didn't come directly from AD. But let's move on. Lord have mercy.
yeah, oh yeah. We about to get into it. We about to get into it. So man, we're gonna start with Urban Meyer. I mean, and Urban, you had last week where you had a couple reporters and them questioning his tactics. They're saying it was basically stuff he brought from college and how it won't work because this is grown men, and saying that he's in over his head, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he pretty much throwing things up against the wall to see what sticks. And I'm like, well, that's any coach that hasn't been a head coach, trial and error. That's how he's going to learn.
Oh yeah.
But this week, he was asked a question about the vaccines and whether the vaccine was a consideration when it came to cuts. And he said, yeah, it was a consideration. And that's the quiet part. You're not supposed to say that part out loud because it's well known that those things have been considered. That's nothing new. That's always going to be a consideration. But he said it, and now everybody's in uproar. The NFLPA immediately said we're launching an investigation from the comments of Urban Meyer. And Jaguars put out the statement. Basically said that it was a consideration, and they found that no players were cut because they weren't vaccinated, and they're not going to admit to that. No way. So I'm not understanding what the NFLPA is trying to do here, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about that.
Well, let me read you what his direct quote
What up,
was.
Britt?
His
Uh-huh.
quote was, "Everyone was considered. That was part of the production. Let's start talking about this, and then also, is he vaccinated or not? Can I say that was a decision maker? And and his response is it was certainly in consideration. Now, for a reporter and hearing that
Mm-hmm.
question asked and getting a real response,
Yeah.
I commend him because
Yes.
I mean, I hey, look, Tony Dungy tweeted twice on the day that all this blew up, and he said, "Well, what else is he supposed to say? Every coach in the league would take in consideration of that."
Right.
And everybody want to place blame on this coach, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, some of the blame got to be placed on the NFL. The NFL was the one that came out and said that we're not going to forfeit any. We're not going to like hold out and you play this game another day. They
Yeah.
said if you have COVID caused by unvaccinated players, then you're going to forfeit the game.
Yep. And you
And
lose game
not
checks.
only that, you're going to lose the game check for both teams.
Both teams. Mm-hmm.
So if you Urban Meyer, when you already done, to be honest, they've already had outbreaks. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, Josh Allen, basically their top player on defense, who's not vaccinated, he just came off that virus list like 3 days ago,
Yeah.
and at 84%, they right now about 84% fully vaccinated with players. That's their percentage on that roster, 84%. And you're looking at someone like Josh Allen, and he's told management, I'm not taking that shot.
Yeah.
So when you have a guy, I mean, you have the back end of that roster. When you making a choice of should we keep this guy? There's another guy with equal talent? Amen. When you looking at a roster from 44 through 53, you you're gonna consider all the benefits,
Mm-hmm.
all the issues, all the potential issues, and can he help us? And that's what he said. I mean, he
Yeah.
he basically said that if and why would he not say it? I mean, even if he didn't say it, it would still be implied. When we go to those practices, Brandon, we go to practices, the guys don't come up to us and tell us, "No, I'm not vaccinated." But the rule is that when they're walking off the field and going back to the facility, if they got face masks on, then they're
Yeah.
they're not wearing face masks just to wear it. They're
Yeah.
wearing those face masks because they're unvaccinated.
Yeah.
And you really looking at, I would say, out of the offensive line that they have, I would think that's out of all those guys, only about two is vaccinated,
Yeah.
unless they just did it over the last week or so. So he can't force guys. I mean, he's tried to educate them and tell them what the importance of the vaccination is, but he's not going to cut Josh Allen. But he
Right.
would, but he would cut Jared Wilson
Yeah.
because he's got
Mm-hmm.
four of the players that can play at his level, or has performed better than him, and that's why he one of the reasons why he left. Well, not left. One of the reasons why he was cut because he was not fully vaccinated,
Yeah.
and that's it's almost getting to a point, man, that you respect the national media. I mean, they are the national media, you know, from California to New York to Florida. They are the national media. But those guys in the national media don't make daily appearances at the Jaguar practices.
You're right.
They're hearing chatter. They're insinuating. They're not standing in that press conference asking questions to Urban Meyer. So they already got that they already predetermined what they feel about the Jaguars, what they
Mm-hmm.
feel about Urban Meyer.
Yep.
And who can fault a coach who just was being honest? I mean, this guy has not always been honest.
Yeah.
They used to call him Urban Liar when he was coaching Florida.
Yep.
So I feel that he's coming. He's at amends with himself. He's probably saying, "Look, I don't want to make the same mistakes that I made when I was a college coach. I probably felt that I was, not attached. I felt like I was, too far up here, not being approachable to the media or what. And if you're not approachable to the media, then how you gonna get your message never gets across to the way you wanted to get it across. And I
Yeah.
think at this point right now, he doesn't care. I mean, I'll say this also, Brent. He don't care what the national media say. He doesn't care. He's gonna have critics till the day he die. There's gonna be critics who never gonna put the rest of how his exit was in Ohio State. There's gonna be critics here in Florida on how he exited Florida. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I commend the guy for basically saying I'm not gonna appease everybody. I mean, I'm gonna do it my way. And if I make some few mistakes as I go along, then so be it. It's all about wins and losses. And I'm the first one to say he's made some mistakes.
Yes. Yeah.
But, chastising the guy because he was being honest is just, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know the right word to say it. If it is what it is. Every team in this league, when you look at those final roster spots, they took in consideration, is he vaccinated or unvaccinated? We don't want to have to forfeit games that we don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what he said. He said that, yep, it certainly was in consideration. And I don't fault the guy at all for being honest.
Right. All right. I don't fault him at all. And I think too, this puts pressure on him, and it takes pressure off Trevor. It takes pressure off pretty much we have a young team.
Yeah.
It takes pressure off the team. It takes pressure off the organization. It's pretty much all on him. And I
Yeah.
think he would want it no other way because he's that type of guy. I think he operates best probably under pressure. And like you said, the national media has always had this thing about Jacksonville for whatever reason. Like
Yeah.
they've always downed Jacksonville. They talk bad about Jacksonville. You had Randy Moss talking crap about Jacksonville because Trevor Lawrence, we had got the number one pick after the Jets won, and he was talking about Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence coming here and talking about the crime rate in Jacksonville. And I'm like, Randy, what do you know about the crime rate in Jacksonville? Like, have you lived here, Randy? What do you know about it? So anytime I hear them talk about Jacksonville, all you're doing from a few visits you may have had or what people have told you, you don't know. So, and it is what it is. And like you said, Urban Meyer has plenty of people who have issue with him, the way
Yeah.
he operated at Florida, from the way he operated at Ohio State, with good reason. Now, let's be honest, with good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's not going to change. That's another thing. I mean, they could go 1-15 again. He's going to be Urban Meyer. And
Yeah.
man to man, you have to respect a guy who's not going to be no other way but the way he is. I mean, that's the one fault I had with Doug Marrone. I mean, he never, he went from a hard coach to a accommodating coach. And
Mm-hmm.
that's almost like coaching suicide. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
go into one season being one way, come back the next season, and he's totally changed. He's a player's coach. If you wasn't a player coach from the start, and then you just trying to be a player coach to keep your job, those guys know what you're trying to do. You're not gonna fool a player.
Yeah.
You are what you are. If that's what you were in 217, then that's what you got to be in 219. And if
Yeah.
you don't, you lose the team. They sit in a meeting and say, this guy don't know what the hell he's talking about. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
I like this Urban Meyer, man, where he just say, if you can't win for me, and basically that's what this decision is, you
Mm-hmm.
causing my football team too much risk. Now, do I treat all the players the same? No, because ain't
No.
no way in the world I'm gonna release a guy like Josh Allen because he's already told me he's not taking that vaccination.
Right. Right. That's like the report I saw when they were talking about that, and they were saying that if it came down to that, you having to cut a player because he's not vaccinated. And so they said they took a middle of the pack team and they pretty much counted up the players who were too good to cut. Like you can't cut these guys. They're too good to cut, or they're making too much money for you to cut them. And this middle of the pack team had at least 9 to 10 guys on the team that was above the cut.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want all that excess money going on that that in dead money that
Right.
you'll be paying for the next 10 years. You can cause financial suicide. So
Yeah.
and this is, I mean, Brandon, we're going to have some cases. This is not going to, I mean, I know I watched the football game last night. I watched Ohio State play Minnesota.
Mhm.
I looked, they showed a shot of the stands, and it looked like it was 219, man. I mean, there wasn't no empty seats anywhere in that stadium.
Yeah.
But that looked normal, but it's still not normal. This is not normal times right now. And
Right.
there's going to be some teams who we just discussed about, forfeits can happen, and it might be some forfeits that's going to happen. There's going to be players during the course of this 17 game season that's going to have an outbreak of this coronavirus. It's going to happen,
Yeah.
and I don't, I mean, I like our show because we can express our opinion. And my
Mhm.
opinion is this: I don't see anything wrong. As we stated, honesty is always the best answer, particularly if you in the media and you get a straight answer from a coach, because a lot of times you're not going to get a straight answer. But
Yeah.
another thing is, hey, I agree. Hey, if you got a guy 49th through 53 on the roster, why take a chance? I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's not about the choice of the vaccination. Everybody got that choice. But the
Mhm.
choice is, hey, if you play, say they go they go into that Seattle game and they even. We don't think they got a chance to get against Seattle to win, but still, it's anybody's fight to the finish. Anybody can win a game in this league, and
Yeah.
just so happen they got the 53rd player on the roster, the 51st player, and they all
Mhm.
come down with COVID while they on that trip to Seattle. It's too risky. I mean, you want to eliminate the
Yeah.
risk to win. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not going to eliminate the starters who he may not be fully vaccinated, but if I'm the coach, I don't want to have to take a chance on a guy on the back end of the roster, and he might help me on the special team. So
Right.
it's a decision that was made on basically it had to be made.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't fault the players. I mean, I'm not faulting, but I have no issue with the players. It's their choice, of course.
Yeah,
But when I seen the restrictions that unvaccinated players have versus vaccinated, things they have to go through, the procedures, because Cole Beasley's still on one right now. Cole Beasley's still talking trash. He's not going to stop talking trash about this whole thing. But they talked about it. When his teammates, he got fined because he didn't have his mask on in 2 different areas of the compound or something like that. And he was like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go get vaccinated because I'm tired of it. So you're going to get those guys who, they're just going to go get vaccinated because they don't want to deal with it. Like you say, if you got those bubble guys or those guys on the fringe, I got to question whether you want to play or not if you don't get the vaccination. Because at no point when cuts come up should that be a consideration for you, especially if you're already on the bubble? Now, you a star player, you're Josh Allen, you're DeAndre Hopkins, who said he wasn't going to get it. You any of those guys who pretty much you got your money and you got your standing on the team, and they pretty much not going to cut you. Got it, cool. You do what you want to do. You got a little power. But if you a guy on the bubble, man, you got to get it. You got to get it, man. You got to get it.
But another thing, Brandon, even for a starter, if you are not vaccinated and you come up with a positive test, you automatically out for 10 days. That's two games.
Yeah.
There's no unvaccinated player. I mean, a vaccinated player comes up with a positive test. They could take 2 tests and come back negative, and he'd be back on the practice field in 48 hours if he can get 2 consecutive negative tests. That's a difference. I mean, that's a big difference. A guy be out for 2. If he missed 2 games and it's Monday and Tuesday, well, hell, he's still going to play that Sunday. If he get a positive test that Tuesday, he'll miss Wednesdays and Thursday practice. But hey, if you're Josh Allen, you might only practice once or twice that week, but you're still going to start Sunday. Yeah. But if you unvaccinated, hey man,
10 days.
Yeah, 10 days, and there's no. It's a 10 days, and not only that, you have to have 2 positive tests within that 10-day window. So if you come back with your first test is negative, then you add on to your days. You can't come back. You have to have those 2 tests. It ain't just like you sit out 10 days. If you can't come back with a positive test, then you sit out until you get it. And I'm hearing also that a lot of people that get this, well, that's for vaccinated players. Well, I don't even need to mention it then, because a lot of times when you're vaccinated, the tests come back positive.
See, somebody say, not my first Twitch comment, but my first Twitch comment that wasn't trying to make me buy followers. And see, Block80 says, American stuff. Yeah, where you from, Block? Because this is American stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure wherever you at, you probably might not have to deal with it. Although I did see in Australia where they were questioning, they had questioning, I can't think of the lady's name and what her standing was. She was saying that the vaccinations, a booster, you probably gonna need a booster for the rest of your life. I saw that, and I was like, I was like, man, why? Why would you need that? I'm like, she's like, well, maybe in the future there'll be better vaccinations, and I'm like, I don't know, man. But like we were saying, with Urban Meyer, he said the quiet part out loud, and he caught some backlash, but he told the truth, and I'll never bash a guy for telling the truth, because I get sick of coach speak too. I get sick of coach speak. I get sick of that. They saying a whole lot without saying anything at all, and he gave it to you straight. Oh, blah, he say he's from Spain. Okay, he'll say he's from Spain. All right. Well, you're not dealing with that over there in Spain. You see what we got to deal with over here, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, I tell you, our world we live in, boy. It's almost like it's Friday. You have absolutely no idea what it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. Could be a storm, could be COVID. And I even saw something today. There's a new variant out there.
Oh yeah, they say the right behind the Delta is the Gamma. Say the Gamma variant.
Lord, the Gamma. What is gonna be next, man? We're gonna have the Typhoon. No, there ain't no laughing matter, but Lord have mercy, boy. I'm gonna tell you straight. I am COVID out. I'm tired. I mean, I done camped out in my house in Tampa all last year. Sat there trying to cover games on the TV set last year.
Definitely.
Buying groceries with my mask, still wearing my mask, because I don't know if I'm indoors or outdoors. I don't know what the risk is. I fear every time that we have to take that test. Well, I guess we start having to take the test every 7 days now, since they made the new rule for the NFL players. But I'm concerned every time I get the swab. because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Especially if you got kids in your house, and I do a lot of work in the library. I have to have the mask on in the library, and I'm fully vaccinated. But man,
Yeah.
I just, I mean, being real about it, it's just, it's just a lot of, it's almost stressful to be living, man. It's almost like you don't know if I done seen friends die, and and it's just, there's a lot of people in this country right now. I had a conversation with a person this
Yeah.
week about that it's just everybody's still on the edge. We were promised by the president in February and March that we would enjoy this 4th of July with our families. You can bring your families over, have cookouts and get-togethers, and man, I don't know if we did that or not, but it's still like after that, I mean, it's like the Delta came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, man, I mean, look, I'm a guy that don't, hey, I'm gonna do it my way. You know, I don't really get stressed out by a whole lot,
Yeah.
but man, I'm concerned. I gotta travel. I gotta travel. I gotta go to Houston in 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 9 days. And I got an email from Southwest Airlines 2 days ago say make sure you have to wear your mask. They got like COVID protocols for Southwest Airlines. At no point when you're
Mm-hmm.
on that plane can you not wear a mask. I mean, it's like, whoa, have mercy. I thought getting the shot would be like, oh man, I'm free. I feel comfortable. I feel I'm not at risk. And now I
Yeah.
feel like I'm at risk. That's why I
Oh,
got to be this way.
Jakari. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I feel the same way. Jakari, what's up, man? Hey, I ain't seen you in a minute. I know you working hard though. I know you working hard. Hey, he be making TikTok videos. That's his new career. He be making TikTok videos. But yeah, Jakari's been one of my biggest supporters, man. Yeah, he say football is bike. Yes, sir. Football is definitely back. Yeah, man.
He
So,
said respect the world. Oh yeah.
oh yeah. That's he's spamming the chat right now. But yeah, that's the kid from Twitch. Or man, I don't know, girl, boy, don't know. Yeah. But yeah. So let's move on. We're gonna get into this next topic. We'll talk about Mr. Cam Newton. And is this the end for Cam Newton? Is it over? Is it over? I promise, man. I remember when Cam left Florida and he went to Blinn Junior College and he won the national title there. He had the incident with the laptop, and people said, "Oh, he got kicked out of Florida because he stole a laptop." No, that's no. He left Florida. He didn't get kicked out. He got disciplined for the laptop situation, but he left Florida. And went on to his dad allegedly was shopping him for 100, 200 grand or something like that to colleges. Mississippi State wanted to give him 100 grand. He told him, nah, two. So, hey, and then if Auburn gave him 200 grand for Cam, they underpaid him. If we being honest, they underpaid him. They should have gave him $1 million because Cam brought a championship to Auburn, first pick of the draft, made the Panthers relevant again. I think after a 1-15 season, he came in and instantly made them better. He had a great career. Had an MVP season with that 2015, 45 total touchdowns, and he's played well, but his body started to break down over the last couple of years. That body started to break down. He started to take that punishment, started to catch up with Cam, and ended up being released by the Panthers, signed with the Patriots, had a forgettable season for the most part in New England last year, and now this year looked like he was poised to have a pretty good season coming up. Even though Mac Jones was drafted, looked like he would be the starter and at least hold Mac off for a year. But Mac won the job. Cam got cut. And I understand why Bill cut him instead of keeping him as a backup, because you don't want Cam breathing down Mac's neck. I wouldn't want that. I want Mac, hey, okay, this is your job. We got other guys behind Mac, and I get that. And like you said, Cam Newton is not a backup. He's a starter. So then that's why they released him. So, but it begs the question that now that Dallas is out of the running for him because they went and got another quarterback, there are no spots for him now. So injury could happen and he could get on the team, but right now it's not looking like he's going to have a team.
Brandon, he was in this situation before the Patriots signed him. He was
Yeah,
available. He
yeah,
had to wait. I don't think that's he might have not been signed to after week 5, I believe. I have to research that, but
yeah,
I like Cam as the player, but I mean, it's just father time, man. He's he's 1,000 and man.
yeah,
The things that Cam could used to do, he can't do anymore. The injury really had an impact on his career, man. And it's like, did they treat him fairly? Yeah, I think the Patriots treated him fairly. I mean, I think that there was
yeah,
always the option if you're gonna go into the draft and you're gonna draft a quarterback in the first round. Well, there's always that option that the clock was ticking on Cam. I mean,
yeah,
I know they had this mix up. I mean, he's supposed to, he actually got treatment for an injury where he had to leave camp, and I thought there was some I don't know what happened, communication problems on
hmm
him not getting tested or what, but losing 5 days of camp definitely didn't help him.
yeah,
And this Matt Jones kid, I mean, yeah, he's Jacksonville, but I want to see more from him. I thought he was good at Alabama, and he obviously accurate. He's an accurate thrower, but I mean, I want to see a little bit more. But I hear what they say about him. That I mean, he's an up and coming young quarterback, but
yeah,
I don't think he has the talent of a Trevor Lawrence. But I mean, he's a local
yeah.
kid that's going to be starting for probably one of the best coaches to ever coach this game. And he had him wearing number 50 throughout camp, which is that's not a motivator.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think Mac he's a talented kid, but he went 15th to the Patriots for a reason instead of
Yeah,
going in the top 5. He's probably further along than they thought. They saying that, and what happened is that he surprised the organization because they
yeah,
knew what they were getting, but they say once he got there and they saw how he was, they say even he surprised them.
yeah.
So, see, Jakar say the best spot for Cam is in Washington. Hey, Ron, the head coach, what's his name? Ron
Rivera.
Rivera.
Hmm.
Ron Rivera has already put a pin in that. He was like, no, we said we have no interest in Cam. So I knew that from the jump because they could have signed him before and they didn't. So
Yeah,
he say Jakar say veganism caught up with Cam. Yeah, he is one of those athletes who they switched to plant-based diets, and some of them had really good years after they did it. I know Chris Paul is one of them. He switched to plant-based and has kind of changed his regimen. He's been able to stay healthier, than normally he would have. Also, you say Mac equals Brady 2.0. I mean, I see the comparisons, but I don't know, man.
yeah. I ain't
I don't
ready to
know.
say. I'm not ready to say that yet. I want to see
Now,
him how
do
he
I think he
progresses.
can win? I think he can win. I think you got a great coach. You got a good defense. They're going to run the air out of the football. They
Yeah,
are. They're going to run the ball down people's throats. That's what they want to do. So he can win games, of course, but him being Brady, I don't know, man.
I
I
think there's
don't know.
only one Brady. I
Yeah,
don't even think the quarterback in Jacksonville is a Brady. I mean, he's good, but he ain't a Brady.
yeah.
Um,
Brady's different.
yeah. 7 rings different.
Yeah, big difference, man. But
Jeez.
I don't know, man. I would like to see Cam land on his feet, but this could be it. And one thing about Cam, though, he's a colorful personality, probably one of the top personalities since he's been in the NFL. A very likable guy, very charismatic. And I think that I don't. just a little practice, and him really getting comfortable with it, after he does it for maybe just a little bit, I think he'll be good in broadcasting.
Yeah, yeah.
If he so choose to do so. So
NFL Network or something like that. I mean, that's. I mean, I think he's going to be somebody that's going to still be in the spotlight one way or the
yeah.
other. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and another thing, Brandon. I mean, I think the guy did a whole heck of a lot in his career.
He
In this
did.
game, in this NFL game, man, it's just like to almost like an open revolving door. And when you can accomplish the things, take a team to the Super Bowl, be the MVP, and just overcome a lot of things, personal things, overcoming that, and just being ridiculed, and still performing at a high level, still performing at a high level, coming back from injury, and
Mm-hmm.
just I mean, Cam came into this league and he had a bullseye. I mean, here's a guy led Auburn to a national championship, going to a franchise that, as you say, was coming off a 1-15 record. I mean, it was a lot of expectations and a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
If you look back, man, hey, there was other quarterbacks in his situation and they didn't enjoy that type of success. So my long story short, I just think, man, you have to appreciate these guys while they're there,
Yeah.
when they're on top, because it's always a hard fall when you climb, when you fall from that perch, and you free falling, you free falling, and not all these guys, especially quarterbacks, they don't. It might be a 4-year free fall, or it might be a 2-year free fall. And I don't know if being the quarterback in New England was an ideal job for Cam. He
Mm-hmm.
made it work. Belichick made it work. And if it's over, I mean, I think that this guy has no reason to lower his head, or be mad or anything. I felt that man, he was a great talent. He was a great talent at Auburn. He was a great talent in the NFL. And if the time has come that he's got to do something else, then I think he'd be a great studio host or something like that, or be on the morning
Yeah.
show on NFL Network. He's entertaining, especially with those hats.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He I forgot who they beat, but he was in the locker room after they beat him. He put out a video on IG, and I swear, me and my coworkers, we watched it like 1,000 times a piece. And he's talking about his outfit and who is by, and he had the cigar, and I was like, dude, I love Cam, man. It's just the aura, what he represents, how he carries himself.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it cockiness or whatever, but hey, the man is just confident. He's confident in his abilities.
Yeah.
So
And you have to
yeah,
be
but
that way at that position, man.
yeah,
You know,
oh yeah, yeah. I
scrutinized
want
for
some
this,
arrogance.
talked about for this. He didn't do enough of this, so you gotta have some personal confidence. You
Hmm.
gotta have an attitude. Like,
Yeah,
what do you know?
yeah,
Even to the reporters. The reporters trying to break you down, and he stood up to reporters. Hey, what do you know?
yeah. That's like I remember Dannon Oikos, the yogurt.
Hmm.
Cam had a sponsorship with them, and yeah, he had a deal with them, and he did commercials for him, and he lost that because remember the lady reporter was
Yeah.
talking about route concepts, and Cam was like, "Wow, you got a lady talking route concepts?" He's like, "Wow, that's something."
Yeah.
And basically, people were in the uproar over it because he said that, and I'm like, that's rare. Like, let's not act like that's a normal thing. Even with all the women that we have in sports, you got women referees, you got lady coaches. They got Becky Hammond in the NBA, hoping that she'd be the next female basketball coach, head coach in the NBA. But there's a couple of guys who deserve to get a spot before she do because they put in the time more than she did. That's another discussion. We'll discuss that one day. And then you got the ladies coaches in the NFL. You got plenty of ladies out there, but there's still a small percentage. Most women don't know and don't care about sports at all. So when
Yeah.
you have a lady who knows the game, it's very interesting to us because most ladies, as soon as you start talking about football, what most ladies do?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I test.
Get on the A. They like this.
I got a wife, and she don't watch football. If I got it
Right.
on in the room, she gonna go in the other room and put it on something else. It won't be on ESPN.
Right. So
So,
when so I didn't understand that, but hope Cam Lamb's on his feet, man, and
oh yeah,
if not, hopefully he'll have a great post playing career.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So
And I like to see him if he don't go back to NFL. Go back and share his experience with the kids.
yeah,
I remember that video with his kid. You remember that? I think this was last summer where some kid was talking trash back to him at a camp.
that was this summer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking about, oh, you ain't got no team, you ain't got no job, you cut and all of that.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
he handled that right.
He
What
handled
is
it
a
very
kid?
well.
Yeah,
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 yeah. But the disrespect that kid, I did a whole video on that, if I'm not mistaken. I talked about that and the
yeah,
disrespect that kid showed Cam. Yeah. But yeah, man, let's move on to the next subject. And we're gonna stay in New England and we're gonna talk about Mr. Asante Samuel. So this was all started by Lewis Riddick. So Lewis Riddick tweeted out, he said, Bill does what Bill does, right or wrong. The man is cold-blooded and do what he thinks he has to do, period. Hashtag Patriots. And that's the truth. I mean, you trade Lawyer Malloy to a in division rival what a week before the season. You don't care. Like you don't care. You trade Drew Bledsoe, your $100 million quarterback, to a division rival. He doesn't care. You ship out Richard Seymour a year before his body starts to break down. You ship out Vince Wilfork when he still had years left. So he's always gotten guys right before they go into that decline,
yeah,
or they have already started to go into decline. They say the only regret that he probably has is Chandler Jones. I think he gave up Chandler Jones way too fast, way too early. Chandler Jones has put in some great years in Arizona that he should have put in New England, but
yeah,
they didn't want to pay Chandler. But that's Bill. So Asante Samuel said, "Cold-blooded is an understatement, but without Brady, he's just another coach, in my opinion." And see, now this right here is what you call sour grapes, people. This
yeah,
is sour grapes because not at no point should anybody ever question Bill Belichick as a coach. At no point. I don't care what you were a part of. Yeah, he's proven it over and over again in more than one place. It ain't just New England. He was a excellent coach in New York. He was a great coach in Cleveland before it all ended.
yeah,
So come on, man. And I think too, Asante may feel some type of way because they didn't want to pay him, and he ended up going to Philadelphia, and didn't win anything after that. But for him to say that Belichick is just another coach, no, that's terrible.
I got two things on this. You know why they get rings? Super Bowl teams get rings
Mm-hmm.
because once you get that ring, nobody can take it away unless you offer it. You know,
Right.
when you win Super Bowls, I mean you can analyze it 5 years after it happened. You can scrutinize it. You can say, oh yeah, those guys didn't deserve it. Oh yeah, you can say, oh yeah, they lucked out and won. But you know one thing, you can never take away a victory from a Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
All this nonsense. I mean, like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Brady is a great quarterback, and Brady had a whole lot to do with that success in New England. But hey, Brady didn't play defense.
Sure didn't.
Brady didn't force turnovers. You know, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot go into winning, and yes, indeed, that quarterback job is important. But when you got an orchestrator, a talent evaluator, a guy who put a team together, all the egos, all the stuff that could destroy a team.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody say, damn boy, he don't show much, or he abrasive, or he just, like he don't really care, all those adjectives about this man. But those Super Bowls that he won, whether you say what, Brady did this and Brady did that, who his name is going to be right there as the head coach of those championship teams. Me, you, Asante, to the OJ, nobody
Mm-hmm.
can take away those accomplishments. So it's just like idle talk, you know,
Yeah.
until Mr. Samuels go out and prove himself on the field. What I mean, what does he have? That's almost like Charles Barkley speaking. Okay, you can criticize Milwaukee all you want, but they got a championship ring. Where yours?
Yeah. That's the truth. That's the
Where
truth.
yours? It's like that's why they get those rings, man. Because hey, you can look at that championship. If you won one, you can go back 10 years. You still got that ring. You can go back 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody don't even remember Super Bowl 18. But you pull out that jury box, and there's that ring.
There's a ring.
Case closed. You ain't got nothing to prove. You did it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the reaction to Belichick. He just another. I mean, come on, man. If that's not sour grapes, the guy gonna be in the Hall of Fame. And hell,
Yeah.
he was a good coach when he was assistant coach. And when he was assistant coach in New York, he was on a
Yeah.
championship team. So
Two
where did
of
he
them.
get that from? Yeah, he got it from years of Parcells learning and being, you know, taking in. I mean, this guy brings in coaches and college coaches. He invite them in to his house
Right.
to get information. I mean, come on, man. This guy is a legendary coach. Do I like his personality? No. I mean, he's not engaging enough. But what that got to do with the T in China when he's winning championships? And and another thing I say this man doesn't have to win another championship for the rest of his coaching career, and what he's already accomplished. He'll
Yeah.
be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you're a first ballot Hall of Famer and he can coach for the next 5 years and go 1-15 in the next 5 years, it's not going to tarnish what he's already accomplished. That's a hell of a coach, in my opinion. So, what all that,
Yeah.
I mean, that just, a guy like Samuel shouldn't even, that makes him look bad. It don't make Bill
It
Belichick
does.
look bad. It make him look bad because it's petty. It's like, come on, man, you can't be around here trashing on a guy. You know, hell, you didn't even go back and say for the Patriots and Belichick to even recognize what I mean. What was Brady, a 6th round pick? I mean, to recognize
Yep.
the talent that nobody else recognized. That's coaching and a talent evaluating. So that's all part of this too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, man. So it's crazy too because you got to think about it as well. Does Asante Samuel become the player that he is without his stint in New England first?
yeah, really,
Who knows? That's a good question. And you're talking about a coach who specializes in taking away what the other team does best. That's what he does.
yep,
That's his MO. That's what he does. And he's been more right than he's been wrong when it comes to that, man. And from whatever gambles he took, players he released, he's been more right than he has been wrong. That's like right now with Brian Flores in Miami. I might not like everything Brian Flores does with the Miami Dolphins. I might not like it.
hmm,
But up until this point, he's been more right than wrong. You see, he
yeah,
rectified the situation with Xavier Howard.
yep,
And Xavier say, "Hey, I want to be up out of here." They say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, player, we give you a few more dollars. Come on back. Come on, because
yeah,
come on, it's
yeah.
good business. It's good business." Nesco, what's going on, man?
I
But
tell
yeah,
you what, though, man, when you got a coach and an organization who can identify, recognize, and appreciate talent, and treat talent the way it's supposed to be treated, and not
mm-hmm,
like this the 53rd man on the roster, but give that talent, treat it in a way it's supposed to be and utilize it.
yeah,
You got something special, man. I mean, And for all what Brady did done in New England, man, that will always be remembered. And nothing that he does in Tampa, I mean, I don't think he's going to be there 7 years to win 7 championships in Tampa Bay. But I mean, as a fan, as a sports writer, whoever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it just some things in sports, man, you just have to sit back and say, man, I'm glad I was able to see this during this era. You know, a lot of people say like Bill Russell, man, I wish I was back in the '60s and I could see Bill Russell and them play, win all those championships. I mean, the only thing we can do now is appreciate what the Patriots did. And I'm not a Patriots fan, but man,
Yeah,
when any team win all the time and win Super
yeah,
Bowls consistently, all you can do is respect them. You know, you can't play or hate them.
right. Hey, and then you know what everybody's bringing up, and I forgot about that. I'm glad I kept reading this article.
Mhm.
But everybody brought up who dropped the game sealing interception against the Giants in that first Super Bowl where they were undefeated. It was
Yeah,
Asante Samuel.
yeah,
hmm So yeah, oh man, come on, dog. But hey, it is what it is. Asante has a personal thing with Bill Belichick because for him to say that, that's how you know it's personal because
yeah.
this is baseless right here. So,
So I hope he can
but
get himself together, patch it up, man, and realize that he was in a franchise that's going to be talked about when his grandkids
hmm
become NFL fans and after their grandkids. I mean, this is going to be talked about long after we all gone, man. It's
yeah,
special. It was a special period in New England.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, and then not to mention his son is in the league, Asante Samuel Jr. That made me feel old, man.
Yeah, man. His son in the league. Oh, that
Yep,
hurt.
his son in the league. But man, let's move on. We're gonna stay on football, but we're gonna move to high school football. That really isn't high school football.
No, it's not.
So there is a high school that isn't a high school in Ohio called Bishop Sycamore. They just played
Sycamore.
on they played 2 games on ESPN, I think in the span of 3 days. And so what they did was they pretty much challenged all the top teams in the country to a game. So they challenged all like IMG, which is down here in Florida in Bradenton. They're the number 2 team in the country, and they challenged them. They went played them on ESPN and lost 58-0, of course. But the interesting part of this whole story is that Bishop Sycamore does not exist. It's not a high school. It has no physical location. On their websites and to contact us or see about or facts, it's blank. The head coach has a warrant out for his arrest. He ordered a hit on a homeless man because the homeless man, I think, damaged his car. And so he had ordered a hit and had the players beat the homeless man up. Yeah. And they allegedly wrote fake checks to the hotel they stayed in for the game where they played against IMG. They scammed their way into that.
Mm.
This story is crazy. And then get this: Kevin Hart and his group Heartbeat Productions already have picked it up, and they got the documentary for it in production. Kevin said he saw the story and he was just enamored by it. Like he's like, "Yo, we got to do a documentary on this because this is insane." How? Who on ESPN and then IMG and ESPN? I fault them. I don't fault Bishop Sycamore in none of this because the fact that they were able to do this, I fault ESPN and IMG. How do you not properly vet the team you're getting ready to play? And how do you not, as ESPN, vet the schools you're getting ready to put on your network? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. So
Well,
I don't know how they got to. And then no, I dropped one of the most important parts. A lot of the players were not high school age. Some of these guys are in their 20s.
yeah,
Let's not forget that part.
yeah. I think a lot of blame got to go to ESPN. I think they got bamboozled. I don't think
Yeah,
they did a research. I think they went, they kind of went with an outside agency to kind of look at the schools to try to, or get it arranged. And I don't think they did enough for their own investigation. They hired an outside agency to select the teams to play in that game. And when you ESPN, man, you know you have to make sure that you don't infringe upon that brand. You know,
Yeah.
and you can't always, you can go out and get hired help, which they did. A consultant firm who went out and got that, you know, a team they shouldn't have got. But I don't know, man. I'm still reading this story. I mean, I'm almost to the point. How in the world?
Mm-hmm.
How, and not only that, they played that Friday. I mean, they played a day. I think it was 2 days before they played that ESPN game. They told
Mm-hmm.
ESPN that we got a team with a bunch of D1 prospects.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which two of those guys are they've been recruited by big schools. Two of the
Yeah,
players
okay,
on the team.
but they got a 23-year-old linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you remember the Mean Machine? I mean, this is like the Mean Machine, man.
Yes. 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 Yeah, it is. It's just like that.
Just like the Burt Reynolds Mean Machine against the guards at the prison, man.
That's what this is like. This is an episode. This is like the longest yard.
Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
longest yard. I say this a real like a reenactment of the real thing of the longest yard. And then I watched a little bit of the game, man. It's like they got kids out here playing both ways. It's like 42-0. And it's like, no, Mike, you take it. No, you be the quarterback on this shit. No, man, you can have it. It's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, man, wait a minute now. If you got a 10-run rule in baseball, where's the running clock? Just put up the white flag. Go to another
Man.
game. Show 2 games, and if something happens, then you got to have a backup plan. And ESPN didn't have a backup plan. Even the announcers was like, man, there's no way this team got.
No way. No way. Hey, Nesco silly. Nesco said, can anybody tell me what in the kickoff with convicts is going on here? Hey, Ness, you got to look at it. Hey, if you ain't seen that story, Ness, look it up. It's crazy. It's insane, man. It's insane. And Bishop Sycamore, they just fired the head coach. What's his name?
What?
Roy. Yeah, Roy Johnson. They just fired him
Wait a
2-3
minute.
days ago.
They just fired him.
They just fired him.
Well, didn't you just say he's got like charges against him?
He got a warrant. Yeah, he got a warrant for his arrest.
So he got an active warrant, but he just got fired 4 days ago, huh?
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. And I'm old school as old school. But boy, I tell you what, man, I've seen more stuff in the last 2 years than I probably done seen in the last 57 years of my life. I mean, how can you have a game on national television, on a national sports network, and the network don't even know anything about the team?
Nothing about the team. They know nothing
with
about
their
it.
own announcers. We're in a period now where the announcers don't be at the actual games. They from announcing the game in New York somewhere, and they watching it on the monitor like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
And they saying, they did more criticizing of Bishop Sycamore or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and they say he's on the run. The head coach, former head coach, they say he got fired, but they say, how can you get fired by a job that doesn't exist? Because the school doesn't exist.
And then I said, yeah, I heard that the school was supposed to be based in Ohio, and then they
Mm-hmm.
said like the mailing address is in Texas, with no physical building.
No physical building. Right. They say they got 25 rooms at the Fairfield Inn for $3,500, but they wrote
They left.
oh,
They left at 4 a.m. without paying.
without paying. They say they wrote bad checks.
Yeah, at 4 in the
Oh
morning.
man.
And yeah, let's go, Billy. We got to get
Mm-hmm.
out of here.
Yeah. They
So
say
before the 18 come,
according to police reports, two invalid checks totaling the 3,500. Guerin said they were written on an account listed to Education Resources Group of New York, New York. So this is an Ohio high school football team, and their mailing address is in Texas,
yeah,
and their account is listed in New York, New York. Oh my goodness, this is gold right here, man. This is gold. How do you do this?
now
How do you do this?
I'm looking at, I'm looking on the timeline. They
Mm-hmm.
lost the game on August the 19th, 38-0 to Archbishop Open, which is in Ohio.
Yeah.
A week later, on August the 27th, they played a school called Rosaux in Pennsylvania, and they lost 19-7. They played that game on the 27th, and then they played IMG Academy on the 29th.
Right. And they got spanked by IMG as they should have. IMG is full of nothing but 5-star prospects.
Yeah. Say, Lord, what are we gonna see next, man?
I mean, this story is crazy, man. Oh, and not to mention, this is hilarious too. Hey, Ness, this part right here gonna get you. He was using a Madden playbook to call plays. The man used a Madden playbook to call plays.
Yeah, they say,
oh my goodness.
They say the listed address of Bishop Sycamore, the school in Duncanville, is an apartment complex where they got the address they use. And then they say Max Prep's accounts list the Franklin University Library building as its address for this school. And you know what's remarkable, man? Nobody could line the dots up until that ESPN game to verify that this school is a fraud, man.
Oh my
This
goodness.
school is like one of those colleges, man, where you hey, come on, get a degree here for 1,200.
Yeah. Technical institutes.
And then you look up where the address at, then you see it's a post office box.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man, you gotta have fun with this, man, because this is what you call wacky. This is wacko, man. They went on national TV, and the physical address is apartment complex in Duncanville, Texas, and a bad looking apartment, I might add to that.
hey, let's say Trump University.
Yeah, Trump University.
Yeah. No zero accreditation.
Yeah,
zero.
No accreditation. Self accredited.
This is wild, man. When I saw this story, I said this got to be fake. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. But it's all real. Yeah, it's all real.
And that's the sad part. Boy, what's gonna happen next? Yeah, this is a made for movie. I mean, this is a you put this storyline together, boy, that's a bestseller.
Yeah, that's why Kevin Hart and them jumped on it. Yeah, I ain't mad at Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart said, "Yo, we gonna do a documentary on this because this is amazing." Like, you can't write this script in Hollywood. If you take this script, and take this to a Hollywood producers and say, "Hey, I want to do a movie about a high school that don't exist. The coach has warrants out for his arrest. He ordered a hit on a homeless man. He called plays with a Madden playbook. You got a linebacker that's 23 years old playing. Like, they're gonna be like, dude, that's not gonna sell, you know." But this right here is amazing to me. And it's amazing.
Even, you know what's even more amazing? This coach felt that he could get away with this, even when he goes on national television. He felt he could get away with it playing a national televised game with a warrant. With a warrant. This
With
is
a warrant
almost
for his
like
arrest.
this is almost like the robber man leaving his address on the counter.
Oh,
It's like a guy going to rob a bank and say, "Hey, let me leave something behind it. Leave his address there on the counter for the teller to get." I mean, hey.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's like Cat Williams talking about he had a gun on him that wasn't registered to him. And he was like talking about his black friends understood why he had the gun. His white friends didn't understand. He talking about he had a gun? Yeah. He's like, he was going to Chicago. He better have a gun. He's talking about, but it was illegal. Yeah. He's like, what do we do? Shoot somebody with my gun, pop out, and lay it down and say, come find me? Like, no.
Man, it's like flying on the plane and you outside on the wing, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
All right,
This is insane.
We won't play national television game, but we played on Friday, but we're gonna play again on Sunday. We're gonna let the world know who we are, but we don't have a physical address. It's an apartment complex. We from Ohio, but our physical address is in Texas at apartment complex.
Mm-hmm. And our accounts are in New York.
With a coach with a warrant out for his arrest.
This too much, man. It's too much. It's too much. But this story was insane. I'm glad I got to cover it because I just couldn't believe this when I heard it, man. I could not believe it when I heard it. But we'll see because I want to see this documentary that they getting ready to do because they gonna go in depth. They gonna interview everybody. They gonna interview. They might even get the head coach to interview, and I want to hear him talk about how he put all this together. I just want to know.
Well, I want to hear from you. Well, I thought I could get away with it, and I want to hear how did he think he could get away with it.
That's what I want to hear too.
I mean, the last thing you should have did was accept the game on national television, so it exposed everything. I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't know what's the point. What I mean, they got money for that game or what?
I don't know, man, because as soon as you get on national television, all it takes is one person to say, who's this Bishop Sycamore? I never heard of him. Do some research and find out, say, this place doesn't exist.
Yeah. And not only that, go on national television and lose 58-0 when you got a whole team full of Division I prospects, and you lose 58-0.
Right.
And you played on Friday, you play again on Sunday.
Right.
I mean, it's almost like he wanted the cat out of the bag on this one, man.
Yeah. And then the IMG players put up a TikTok and they dancing in the locker room, talking about that feeling when you beat a team full of grown men and they dancing in the locker room. Because they found out these dudes were grown men. Pastor Palmer, what it do? I see you.
Lord,
hey, let's go so stupid. He talking about the longest yard. Remember Terry Cruz's cheeseburger Eddie? He talking about they was out there tackling, giving out cheeseburgers.
Yeah, man, we need to sing the song Mean Machine, Mean Machine, Mean Machine.
Mean Machine, Mean Machine. This legit what it's like, man.
Hey, what Bishop Sycamore mascot name? What I mean, they got a mascot. Did they have anything on their helmet? And where they get did they pay for the uniforms?
I don't know. But then when I tell you their uniforms are black, and I kid you not, prison gray. That's that gray that's on the uniform. Yeah. That's prison gray. You know prison gray when you see it. That's prison gray.
Yeah, I wonder where he get those jerseys and the uniforms from, man. Lord have mercy. I thought I'd have seen it all, heard it all, and we got a Bishop Sycamore with no physical address and a coach with a warrant who coached a national televised game. It's almost like anything can happen.
He talking about that mascot was the Hamburglar. Ness, you so stupid.
Yeah.
Ness, stop, Ness. Stop. Please stop.
Yeah, boy.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm done. I'm done, man.
Have they ever won a game, man?
I do. I wonder if they ever won a game.
And they got a Division I prospect on this team.
Right. Right. Man, oh man. But This documentary is gonna be interesting to see, man.
Man, they
But
say August the 31st, Bishop Sycamore closed his website, saying it's down for maintenance.
oh my goodness.
Oh, they got an athletic director.
Yeah, yeah. It's the ex ESPN president John Skipper explains how ESPN. Yeah, they say yeah they can't believe ESPN allowed that to happen because like I'm just no one sends reporters out. You don't call. You don't get no more information about the team. Nobody did any of that. I'm not. I'm not
Man,
understanding.
the athletic director from this school told USA Today Sports, "I'm not gaining anything financially from doing this." And then USA Today found out that they got an active GoFundMe trying to raise $20,000 for Bishop Sycamore, which has been shut down. They got $140 in the GoFundMe account.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I tell you what, boy, that might have been the biggest. That's the best laugh of the week.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Because this is insane, man. I've never seen or heard of anything like this in my entire
Me either.
life.
All right, well,
Yeah. But
Bubba, let's go get us a crew. Let's go down to let's go to the stockyard and go get us some fellas and go get a football team going.
right.
Maybe we can get on national television.
Right. Shoot, hey, it's plenty of young
Oh,
athletes here who are out of high school who didn't go off to college who we could put a team together. It's a lot of them here right in the city, and I know a couple of them. And hey, all you gotta do is know a couple, and they know a couple, and then they know a couple. We'll have
yeah,
a team by the end of the week.
yeah, mean machine, mean machine, mean
Mean
machine,
machine, mean
mean
machine.
machine.
oh my goodness,
Well, we
man.
all need
Listen,
a good laugh. So thank you, Bishop Sycamore, for giving us a laugh. We done been through all this, all the COVID and all this stuff. But thanks for giving us a laugh, man. Because I tell you
yeah,
what, that I don't even know what to say about that one.
yeah, yeah. That's a special case right there. If I've ever seen one. oh my goodness. But
One
man,
of a
let's
kind, never duplicated.
no, never duplicated, man. Never duplicated. So man, let's go into our last topic. And we're gonna talk about Mr. Anthony Davis. And there's a report supposedly about Mr. Anthony Davis, and it's reported that he felt like Dennis Schroeder didn't set him up, the way he would like him set him up in the post, and saying that Rajon Rondo, of course, set him up much better. And I would argue that okay, I definitely understand that. I mean, Rondo is the quintessential point guard.
Right.
He's if you want to look for prototype point guards, start with Chris Paul, and somewhere in that conversation should be Rajon Rondo, who's improved his game seemingly year after year after year. He's gotten better and better. But yeah, so he felt frustration with Dennis Schroeder last year, and he didn't like Dennis's passing. And so, I mean, and I get it. Even though this did not come directly from him, it's a report. But I'm gonna let you expound on that because you had some insight on that and where that is really coming from. So I'm gonna let you take it from here, sir.
Well, let me say three things. First thing is that if this is true, Anthony Davis would never go up to Dennis Schroeder and tell him how he feels. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's the way he's always been like that. He'll sulk, but he won't communicate or tell a player he dissatisfied with. Number two, I'm reading that story, man. I know his father personally. I
Mm-hmm.
know some of the things that happened when Anthony was in New Orleans with the Pelicans. And
Mm-hmm.
his dad and Anthony got his own. It's almost like he's got his own PR firm. You know, If something get out that he's not happy with, it ain't gonna never come through his mouth. It'll come through more so his father. There's a situation in New Orleans where Monty really protected Anthony Davis almost to the point he protected them too much. Like if he was
Yeah.
first, second year, if he had to be matched up against strong centers or something like that, then basically Monty would protect him. He wouldn't have him in the post a lot, have him outside the block, that kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
his daddy didn't like Monty. he didn't like he didn't like the way his son was being used.
Yeah.
For a number one overall pick, he wanted his son to be what he is, a number one overall pick. And if there's a challenge out there and it's a national televised game, he want his son to shine. And
Yeah.
what father wouldn't?
Yeah.
But it's no doubt this happened. There's no doubt that story is true. And there's no doubt that it probably was Anthony Davis' dad who probably
Mm-hmm.
leaked this, because
Yeah.
as a father, he's always going to move in the best interest of his son. If his son can't say something, which he can't, it wouldn't be professional for Anthony Davis to say that, but to get it out in public that, hey, some of the problems AD was having last season wasn't all about injury.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he was standing in the post looking for, like a
I
pass
see
to
you,
come
Troy.
in,
Yeah.
and Dennis looking the other way.
Right. Right. Yeah. Dennis. They say Dennis was pretty much playing to get a contract. That's what he was
Yeah.
doing. He was looking to score. He wasn't looking to necessarily set Anthony Davis up. That's just people's speculation when they say the way it looked like he played. And of course, we know he had an epic fumbling of the bag by turning down the Lakers offer and
Mm-hmm.
only end up signing for $5 million and turning down $21 million a year. So it's interesting, yeah. Because when I heard reports, I said it's somebody in this camp.
Yeah,
Somebody in this camp got this out.
but you know what, man? I think I wish, and I said this on your show before. It's got to become a point in time where AD become assertive, where
Mm-hmm.
he demands, where he gets on a teammate, where he don't always defer to LeBron, where he
Yeah.
feels like he's on the same level with LeBron. A problem like this could have been nipped in the bud immediately after it happened the first time. All he had to say was, Dennis, look, man, I'm the star of the team with LeBron. If I'm open in the low block, it's your job to get me the ball. There's
Yeah.
no offensive play that we
Mm-hmm.
have where it all on you to take those shots and
Yeah.
not get an easier shot with me in the low block. AD don't like to play center in the first place.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't like that position. But if he was assertive enough and come up and tell his Dennis Schroeder, this is what I want, this is what
Mm-hmm.
we gonna demand, and we gonna have a problem if you don't get it done.
Right.
And I'm almost to the point, man. I don't know if AD's gonna be that player. I I don't think he's ever gonna be assertive. I mean, he's one of the nicest guys in the world, man. And he
Yeah.
wasn't raised that way. It's just like this is a fitting example. Like someone in his camp needed to get this out before training camp started, and that someone wasn't him. And it's like
Yeah.
he always have had people speak for him, and I just think it's the point in the time has come for AD to
Yeah.
man up, tell, be assertive, no matter who it is, even if it's LeBron, be assertive and just stop relying on people to carry your battles, man.
Yeah.
Toughen up. Even and another thing, play through injury sometimes
Oh
too.
yeah. 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 Hey, Troy Davis, I got you. He had a question for us about the Jaguars O line. We're gonna cover that. As soon as we're done with this topic, we're gonna go back into it, Troy. But yeah, I think you're completely right, man. Anthony Davis has to understand, and that's why I'm hoping that Rajon Rondo, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Frank Vogel, Jeannie Buss, Magic, Palinka. I mean, you name it. Whoever's associated with the Lakers, all of them need to be on a consistent basis. Every time you see Anthony Davis in the hallway, you talk to him on the phone, you see him out and about, drill in his head, hey, you're the guy.
Yeah.
It's not LeBron. It's not Russell Westbrook. It's you, Anthony. You are the guy. You are what's going to make this vehicle go. You are the engine. Mm-hmm. You're the engine. We can't move without Anthony Davis. You are the guy. I need you to start playing like it, acting like it, and demanding as such, man.
That's it. Demanding, not just okay. Like, stop the fern. Like, hey, man, LeBron is a great player, but LeBron's career is going to be over, and AD still going to be playing.
Yes.
And he's got to come to the realization that everything should go through him. He should demand it. Like, he should demand the ball. I mean, it shouldn't. I mean, LeBron don't care nothing about sharing the ball. As long as they winning, that's all that matters. But I mean, I've seen this guy too many times, man, where he like, come on, man, this your team. It's not this not someone else's team, or you waiting on the coach to clean up the locker room. You got to do it yourself, man.
Yeah. Say LeBron would be the best ever. He wasn't so soft. Oh, come on with the soft stuff. Yeah, you must be a Jordan fan. You must be a Jordan fan, Troy. I thought I liked you, Troy.
Yeah, he's not only feeds off of him, but hell, he got to be assertive too. He can't all right, take it, LeBron. Yeah. I'll wait back here and get the rebound. I mean, come on, man. They're paying this guy millions. I mean, he's got a max contract. I mean, why do you think he got a max contract?
Yeah,
it's got to be AD. What player in the league can score off the block, score from the perimeter, get down on the floor, run the lane, block a shot, get back on offense, dunk the ball, get back on defense, block a shot? I mean, athleticism. He's 7 foot and can shoot a mid-range shot just as well as the best of them in the league. I mean, he's got the skill set. And he played like he did in the All-Star game a couple of years back in New Orleans. I mean, that's where he needs to play at. He needs to play at that level all the time and stop getting knick-knack injuries or hurt big foot and a sore elbow and don't play. I got to be 100%. I mean, come on, man. Nobody going to be at 100% playing 82 game schedule. Come on, man.
Right. Just play through some stuff, man. And that's gonna say if AD is the engine, then that train won't leave the station. Come on now, you can't poo-poo AD, man. Don't poo-poo AD, man. Come on. Hey, AD. Well, but you gotta know that AD is one of the top players in the league.
Yeah, but he gotta know it. He's gotta know
he has to know it. That's the thing. Let me see. Troy said, no, I'm LeBron. I feel he's the GOAT, but he couldn't play in the past. Oh, come on, man, Troy. Dog, Jordan played against real estate agents and plumbers and lawyers, man. Come on now. Let's not act like the guys were so much more athletic and so much more tough back in the day. No, dude, no. It's only a handful of players that played back then that could play today. The game is totally different. Pretty much every big man that played in the 90s past, probably early 2000s past, couldn't play today. As soon as they put the small ballers on the court, they're gonna run them out the gym. Yeah. The centers couldn't play today. And say LeBron plays everywhere. That's why I think he's the GOAT. But the flops kill me. Everybody flops, man. Everybody flops. It's LeBron, so they make more of it. But everybody flops.
Yeah, man. But it's a difference when you're 36 years old, man. You're allowed to flop when you're 36. Come on.
At least, yeah. Oh yeah. Man.
Ask D Wade, did he flop?
Right. Shoot, I don't watch Draymond flop. I don't watch Steph Curry flop. Kawhi Leonard is flop. I done seen all of them flop. I just flopping is I hate flopping. But hey, Some of them get calls off of it.
Yeah.
See, Jordan played against more Hall of Famers than LeBron ever will. Hey, that's a sign of the times. That's a sign of the times. But let's remember though, Ness brought it up, so we're gonna go here. He also got his butt busted by more Hall of Famers than LeBron ever did as well. So yeah, he played against a lot of Hall of Famers. He lost to a lot of Hall of Famers. Let's get that out the way now. Come on now. Let's be for real. And we're not pooing Jordan, and we're not pooing LeBron, and none of them. You know,
Man,
two different eras.
Just get the video game out. The battle with the video game. Get that down NBA 2K out there and get the classics.
Yeah.
And let the machine do the talking.
There you go. That's it. That's it. You say the players are better today, bottom line, but they are soft.
Yeah,
I mean, you got some players.
I won't disagree with that one.
You got some players who are throwback type players who could play back then, and they're very tough today. But overall, I would kind of agree with you, Troy. It's different now, man. We're in a different time.
I don't know if these boys will be playing against them bad boys.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if Steph would have went in the lane against them bad boys.
Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. Let's see. Nesco said he did, then he whooped them. Yeah, when they got old. He didn't whoop them till they got old. Now, come on, Ness. I can do this all day. You know I can do this all day, Ness. He didn't whoop them until they got old. He didn't get the bad boys until they got old. He didn't get the Lakers and the Celtics till they were old. They were old. He didn't beat them in their prime. He waited his turn. Come on now. Come on. Again, put him up against the Pistons. Hey, look, new time, I agree. Oh, but you want to talk about the Pistons? Okay, not the old Pistons, but let's say a little bit of bad boys reincarnated with Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups. Great defensive teams. Yeah. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals, 4 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. But they also beat Shaq and Kobe in 2004.
Yeah, and won the championship, beat Shaq and Kobe. That was a great team. LeBron James ended them. They played them in the playoffs. I forgot what year it was, but they played them in the playoffs, and I think I forgot what game it was, but LeBron had a game where he scored the last 25 points for the Cavs and beat the Pistons. Yeah, even Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, and them talk about it, that was LeBron's coming out party. So, you know, it is what it is, man.
But then they went to San Antonio and they lost that. They got swept in that series, though. You know, I got to add that.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't – no contest. No contest. You talking about one guy and a bunch of guys versus the big fundamental and Tim Duncan and probably one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game. Oh, yeah. You supposed to get swept.
But you guys realize for the next 50 years that the debate in the NBA going to be who was better, Jordan or LeBron. That's going to be an argument for the next 50 years. Yeah, it is. Hey, he said he can't agree with Nesco because he got the FSU flag. Go Gators. Troy, this is not a Gator positive platform, Troy. So hey, let's talk about them Gators and Seminoles. The Seminoles play Notre Dame. Is they going to win that game?
Oh, I don't know about that one. I think I see Notre Dame. Notre Dame might run away with that game right there.
But is that Florida State?
Florida State.
Yeah, they play. Notre Dame is coming to Florida State. Don't they supposed to win at home?
You're supposed to, but I got Notre Dame. My money's
on
Notre Dame.
Brandon, you a Florida State fan?
No. I'm an Alabama fan.
Oh, yeah, Alabama. Well, you're from the state of Florida, so what?
Hey, the closest Florida team you're gonna get me cheering for is the Hurricanes, and they ain't good right now.
Well, what we got to go back to 1983?
Not that far. You ain't got to go back that far.
I was a Hurricane fan back then too, with Randall Thrill Hill and them guys. They beat up Texas. Man, they could have scored 100 points on Texas that day in the Cotton Bowl.
Nah, just give me the Ed Reed, Sean Taylor Hurricanes. Yeah, and I'm good. Give me them, and I'm
I
good.
like the Lamar Thomas, the Randa Hills, and man, who else? And those
See,
Blades brothers.
nobody can be done, boys. Nobody can be told both.
Huh?
Um,
What that mean?
I don't know. Unless you talking about the Jordan and LeBron, you say don't forget the app. The app know who was better. I think you talking about LeBron and Jordan. Yeah, they're both good. They're both good. Say LeBron soft as Georgia Cotton. Been in the league all this time. Has only played an entire season maybe 2 times.
Oh
He
man.
hasn't played the entire season by choice, man. Ain't like he couldn't. Ain't like he was injured up and couldn't. What play 82 games for what? The regular season. We have proven that the regular season means absolutely nothing, Nesco. It's not about the regular season no more. It's about championships. Hey,
Yeah, I
73.
agree with that.
The Warriors went 73-9. They say Jordan called the organization. He called up Steph and he called up a couple of the players. And he said 73-9 don't mean nothing without the title. That's what Jordan told him. So the regular season don't mean nothing, Nesco.
Yeah,
Don't mean nothing.
that's a true statement. You can't go
Mm-hmm.
73-9 and don't win a championship. That Bull team, they won 72 games that year.
Yeah.
Hey man, I like Michael Jordan, man. I ain't gonna sit here and there like, hey, I saw the
Yeah.
man. Hey, that man was good, man.
Yeah. Only thing I want to forget about Michael Jordan is his Wizards years. I can't get that
But he
image
was
out of my head.
old, man. Father
He was
time.
old. He shouldn't have
Yeah,
never done it. He shouldn't have done it. He was
yeah, he
being
shouldn't
greedy.
have. Yeah, you're
He
right.
shouldn't have
He
done it.
shouldn't have done it. I
Yeah.
don't even think he should have went to baseball in the middle of his career either. But it is what it
Yeah.
is.
It is what it is. Let's go say Knowles by 3. That's some bold predicting right there, Ness.
What? The
Knowles
nose by
by
3.
3.
Who's the
Oh,
quarterback?
yeah.
Can they name a
Who is
starting quarterback?
the Knowles quarterback?
Yeah,
Let's see.
he must be so good. It's a secret.
Who is the starting
Hey,
quarterback?
I just want to see a good game. Thank God that they don't have that quarterback they done had the last 3 years, right?
No.
He had the one that always run for 20 yards and then fumble.
Right. Let's see. Senior transfer, Mackenzie Milton and redshirt sophomore Jordan Travis are listed as co-starters. So you don't even have a
Co-starter.
quarterback.
Oh
Oh
man.
no, y'all gonna lose that game, dog.
Co-starter and they play. What is this? The Urban Meyer playing or what?
Dude,
Co-starter and they play tomorrow? He didn't name a
co-starters.
starting quarterback.
It ain't happening,
Boy,
Ness. It's not
as,
happening.
as much as I don't like Notre Dame,
He said, "Put your money up, Nesco. Ain't no way they beating Dame. They not beating Notre Dame with co-starting quarterbacks." He said, okay, it's about championships. Jordan got 6. LeBron got how many? There's only one GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Yeah, he got him on the rings. He got him on the rings. He say, I'll give you 3, Nesco. That's funny. He said, Uncle John, stop. But no, that's the truth. That's the truth, man. That's the truth, Ness. Y'all ain't beating Notre
man,
Dame.
Florida
Y'all ain't beating
State
Notre Dame.
got another 2 years to wait before they start winning consistently, man. I'm surprised they playing Notre Dame. When they play Clemson.
When do they play Clemson?
And let's hope they don't forfeit.
Oh man, so they play Clemson. Let's see, October 3rd.
Well, that's the game I'll be watching.
Well, October 30th. The 30th. Yeah, time is to
30th?
be determined. Yeah, the 30th.
They might beat the Canes this year, though.
They could beat the Canes. The Canes,
They sure didn't beat them last year, though.
Mm-hmm.
Let me stop, man, before I mess up all the Florida State fans out there, man. I like all the Florida schools, man. But Lord have mercy, I ain't never seen Florida State play this bad over the last couple of years, though.
To my okay, we get that L. Never mind. Oh man, you came off it that fast, Ness. I understand though. You reserve the right to change your mind when new information is presented.
Yeah.
That's the kind of country we live in.
Man, we can't have Notre Dame coming to the home state here, man, and beating our home school like by 30.
Yeah, they gotta go out respectable. Respectable, man.
Yeah, at least give it like 30, 31-24 or something like that, man. Not no 40-14 stuff, man.
I hope not.
I hope
I
not
hope not.
either.
Because Notre Dame is a good team. And
Yeah, they gotta
yeah.
stop the run, man. I don't know what man, they need to bring back Bowware and all them guys, man.
Hey, that's the only way. Bring back Derek Brooks.
Yeah, bring back Derrick Brooks, man. They win some games. You
Shoot,
know I
see,
don't like talking about my Florida State, man, but Jesus Christ, they've
see,
been
No's
down.
are probably the same as Jags. 6.5 over under. That's right. That's bowl
What, six
eligible
and
right there.
five? Where they coming
Six
to
and
the
a
Bay?
half. 6.5 is win-loss record for them. Hey,
So
that's bowl eligible right there.
what they gonna get them in the Independence Bowl?
Yeah, that'll get them in the pinstripe
The
bowl
Pinstripe Bowl, six and
or the or
five.
the or the easy bake oven bowl.
Man,
Oh,
I hope they ain't got to bring back Jimbo, man.
oh, hey, Troy say the toilet bowl.
Yeah, they toilet bowl.
Oh man,
But the Gators got a tough one too, though. Not Saturday, but who they tough with? I mean, they got to go to LSU. They got Alabama on the 18th.
yes, I'm waiting for that. I'm ready for that. It's a lot of Florida Gator fans been talking crap.
Well,
About to put it to them.
I like the Gators. I don't think they're gonna beat Alabama.
Right.
That
I
might
don't
get
I don't see
that
that.
might get ugly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might that might get ugly there. But
Yeah.
they got a brother starting at quarterback. So.
All right. Oh yeah. I almost forgot, Troy. The Jags O line. So he say he has what do you think about the O line? Which we talked about it earlier. It's still a concern. It's still a concern. I saw a report where they said that the line is gonna surprise some people and all of that. But yeah, that's that. I laughed when I saw that too. I said if it's any indication of what we've seen, and yeah, none of they haven't had all 5 starters this entire preseason. And I think majority of training camp, I don't think all 5 starters have been on the field together much, so that's concerning in itself. You got a line that is they're middle of the pack at best. That's at best, middle of the pack, but they're closer to the bottom of the pack than the middle. But say middle of the pack at best, and plus all your starters haven't been practicing and playing these last couple of weeks, so there's no cohesion on the line. So this is alarming. This is very alarming. But I will say that their play calling against Dallas got Trevor on the move. The play calling was much better than the previous 2 games.
Yeah.
And he stayed out of trouble, kept his feet moving, used that. They have to use his mobility. Early on, Trevor's gonna have to use that mobility, stay out of harm's way, and don't be diving in the piles on 3rd and 10, man. No, I don't want to see that no more.
We don't want to see that. No doubt about it. But I agree with you, Brandon. I think from my perspective, I think that's the biggest concern for this football team is the offensive line. I mean,
yeah,
I'm kind of even concerned. I mean, the injuries is always a factor, but we done praised Walker Little a whole lot in training camp, and I think just to see what he did in that Saints game where Davenport just kind of
killed him.
I don't know. He took away his spirit, man. He got up on him. He got up on him so quick he couldn't get his hands up to even shield him from him. It is almost like it was a couple of plays in that game where Davenport was controlling him. He was controlling where he wanted to go. If he saw the quarterback go, I mean, that's like you can't have that, man. You know. And we had the offensive coordinator, Coach Warhawk. We had an opportunity to talk to him a little bit this past week, and he was saying that Jawan Taylor, he's showing progress, but there are some things that he still got to work on. And I'm concerned. It's 9 days right now. It's 9 days before they play that opener. it would be
Hmm.
understandable for Coach Warhol to say something like that if we were in OTAs or we were going into, the mini camp or something like that in June. But obviously, his foot technique is a problem on pass protections. Too many breakdowns, too many. It ain't always where you judge an offensive lineman on giving up a sack. A lot of times you got to judge him on how much pressure is his guy getting on the quarterback. You know, and I think that's a problem, and I just think that they don't have enough depth, and I don't think they address. One thing I thought, they need receiver help. Obviously, that's why they
Yeah.
went on the waiver wire and got Johnson. But man, I think I would have been one of the first moves I would have made was to go on that wire, see who the best tackle got released from whoever team, and sign them. And I just
Yeah.
think there's a misconception going on with the Jaguars. One of the few mistakes of Urban Meyer is that I think they over I think they have overvalued this offensive line, man. I do. I mean, I can't put faith in the Ben Barch if if Can go out or Norwell go out. I mean, I can't put my faith in the Tyler Shatley. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't think they have enough. I mean, even in that Dallas game, I mean, I thought the backups really played a strong game. I mean, they really protected Trevor, probably
Yeah.
better than any at any point in the preseason and in practice.
Yeah.
And then they had, Will Richardson was playing at guard. I would like to see Jawan Taylor move to guard and maybe
Hmm.
put Walker Little at that tackle spot or something. I think Cam has played pretty pretty well. Even though he had, ankle injury and all that, but I think he's played very well, especially
Yeah.
over the last couple of weeks of camp. But it seems like the issue is Jawan, and if it gets to be a problem, then if you can move Will Richardson to guard for a game, then let's see how Jawan would be. You
Yeah.
know, so
Right. Yeah. So
but
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the problem. I really do. I think that's the number one problem is the offensive line and how productive they're going to be, and they cannot have any injuries on that line. You got to get those guys back, and particularly Norwell has not practiced in almost 3 weeks, and I don't,
Yeah.
he's got to get after it this week. If
Yeah.
he's going to play, so
Yeah.
that's a concern. You know,
Yeah. See, Troy said wide receivers at this level will get open, but the O line is so big. They have to know every play and protect. We need to get experience and also studs, but it seems that is an afterthought for the Jags.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
like he said, he said he felt like they've overvalued this line and feeling like they're good enough. Yeah, if you don't pick up O linemen, you feel like you're good enough. I don't think this line is good enough. People have seen this line; they don't think it's good enough. But for whatever reason, I don't know if Warhop has made some great Kool-Aid for them to sip on because they drinking it.
and it is.
Whatever he's selling, whatever Warhop is selling, they drinking this down. It's like a cold summer day, a hot summer day, and he got some iced out Kool-Aid, man, and they sipping on it
He's a
because they're not moving on anything. So let's see. You say they seem to be focusing on get the ball out of Trevor's hands as fast as possible, so he don't get hit because they know the offensive line is poor. I
yeah.
mean that's part of it, but that's the name of the game anyway. In his first two games, it was very clear he held the ball too long. Both the sacks he took against Cleveland, he held the ball almost 5 seconds. That's too long. You can't
Yeah.
hold the ball that long. The same in with the Saints. Sometimes he held the ball too long. Depending on what he saw, he held it too long. Now against the Cowboys, you could tell the plan was, hey, listen, you're gonna be out there for a couple series. We're trying to get some points on the board, but you got to get the ball out your hands. And every time it seemed like as soon as the ball touched his hand from the center, his eyes were up. He's looking. He made a decision, and the ball came out of his hands.
And
So
another thing, Brandon, that's why Urban Meyer is so much into trying to get speed receivers because those receivers got to get separation too. and
Yeah.
they didn't get a whole lot of separation in that Saints game. You got
Yeah.
to get separation. If you're gonna have him to get the ball out of his hands quick, then you got to get open. Like LaVisca got open, even
Mm-hmm.
if it was slant routes, he got open.
The
And
Visca
another
got
thing
open.
is Carlos Hyde. If he's the third down back, he's got to pick up the blitz because
Yeah.
he did not pick that blitz up against the Browns. That sack Minshew, that sack that Minshew got is because he missed the blitz pickup, and he's
Yeah.
not a good blocker. So those running backs can be blamed just as well as those offensive linemen, man, because I think they're gonna see a whole lot of blitz packages. I think even in this Houston game, I mean, Houston got nothing to lose, and I think they're gonna put all kind of different blitz packages in, and they're gonna try to confuse the young quarterback. And I think that's what he's gonna see probably the first 5 weeks of the season. A lot of blitzes, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
disguise coverages. He's gonna have safeties, come up and they're gonna be in one coverage, and when he snaps, they're gonna be in another one, and they're going to try to confuse him. And those guys got to get separation. He's got to roll out. That's why he's playing with a rolling pocket
Yeah.
because of the blitzing. And the one thing I can say about Trevor arm strength is so well that even on those rollout plays, he can get the ball downfield no matter what angle he has to go, or he can throw it on the opposite side of the field from where he's rolling out from. And that's
Yeah.
a strength, obviously, but he's going to have to take advantage of that a lot, especially if he roll out right on Jawan's side.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 See. So you think Robinson repeats his numbers? I asked because I went with him on my second fantasy pick, but I believe that depends on Trevor. If he is a threat, he does. I'm gonna tell you this, Troy. Um, Jacksonville doesn't have many guarantees, if any at all. But as long as he's healthy,
Yeah,
Robinson is going to put numbers up. Think about last year. We didn't have a passing game last year, and he ran for 1,000 yards in 13 games.
yeah,
So he's easy like Sunday morning, man. He's gonna put up numbers. So that's a good fantasy pick. As long as he stays healthy, you're gonna get numbers from Robinson. Because what's gonna happen is early on, teams are gonna be putting safeties in the box. The
yeah,
receivers have to win their one-on-one matchups
yeah,
because you're not gonna have safety help over the top for a lot of the games they're gonna play early. Until Trevor can show that he could back the safeties off, they're gonna continue to play the run.
yeah. And he's going to get a lot. If Travis Etienne was around, then I would see his workload would have got limited, but he
Yeah.
might get as many or more carries this season than he got last year. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and he's a weapon, man. I mean, he's a legitimate weapon, and they're going
Mm-hmm.
to utilize him in both the run game and the passing game. And he's
Yep.
looked good throughout camp, man. I say this: he came to camp in shape. He's looked strong the entire camp. They didn't really use him a lot in those preseason games, but his quickness, his vision, all that's back again. He get through that hole
Mm-hmm.
quick. I'm seeing him catch passes out the backfield, which they're going to utilize, and there might be some plays that was designed for Travis that's going to be designed from him. So he's going to get a heavy workload, man.
Yeah. And remember, people, also, this O line is an issue, but they're an issue when it comes to pass blocking. They can run block.
Yeah, yeah, they can.
They got no issue run blocking. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Wide receiver Johnson was an awesome pickup. He's a burner. Yeah, when I saw that, I said, yeah, I know they got a little woo-saw in that room when they was able to pick Johnson up because I think that was definitely a big pickup.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's needed. I mean,
mhm.
they got more. I mean, you want to have a guy who can stretch the field, but you want to have a guy that's able to draw a double coverage. If you can get double coverage on Johnson and
Mhm.
leave Marvin Jones open or DJ Chark open
Yeah.
without having double and it's just a straight man coverage, then he's going over the top and he's going to hit whoever is open. But you
Yeah.
got to have a guy that can stretch the field, and Johnson is that.
Right. And so now that you got him to stretch the field, he said, besides Robinson, who else on the Jags would you have picked? Maybe Jones, maybe Chark. Jones or Chark would have been good pickups, But I think the real gem, and he's going to beat any one-on-one coverage he faces this year, Laviska Shenault, man.
Yeah.
Laviska has looked good this entire preseason, entire training camp. He get the ball in his hand. He's a threat to take it to the house, man. You got guys when it's him and the DB, he's going to win against the DB most times, man.
Yeah.
It's just the DBs can't bring him down by themselves. You got to have a group. I got a picture, my background picture on my computer at work, and it's a picture of Laviska holding the ball, and he got 6 Vikings trying to tackle him, and he's still up. Like, Laviska is that guy, man. So I would say pick up, if you can get Laviska Shenault. See, but a lot of those numbers was trash numbers because we were losing, agree, disagree. No, it's not like he was running the ball a lot in the fourth quarter. No, because the games were pretty much over. No, James Robinson was an integral part of games. He was the reason why we were in a lot of the games we played. Yeah. Look at the Chargers game.
Yeah.
He's the reason we was in the game.
And then there was times he faced a loaded box and he still got yardage just based on vision, but based on get through a hole, and he made yardage after contact, which get over, don't get appreciated enough for running backs when you get the initial hit and you can still get an extra 3 yards, and he's great at that.
Yeah.
Another thing I think about James Robinson, I mean, I don't think the coaching staff last year really helped him. I mean, I think that he got a lot of that yardage on his own, and as Brandon said, the offensive line did do a good job with the run blocking. But I think you got a coaching staff now that can scheme plays for him, that can find secrets and they can expose the defense better. And he doesn't always have to run inside. It might be, play action draw, which we didn't see a lot of last year, that we can see where they scheme in the defense. I give this coaching staff credit. They're not going to beat themselves over bad coaching. They're going to be prepared. They're going to find the flaws, and they're going to try to expose those flaws. And I don't think this stuff you saw in the preseason, I don't even think you can judge any of that. I think that starting with this Houston game, I think they're going to find ways to take advantage of team flaws, like teams that blitz, where they're going to use play action passing a lot for those blitzing teams, and they're going to have those guys on go routes, and he's not just going to like ding and dong. He's not going to just throw, get the open guy that's 5 yards. I think he's going to get the open guy that's 25 yards down the field and take advantage of all that blitzing and all those, they'd be isolated in single coverage. And as you said, you got a guy like Johnson who's fast. I think Marvin Jones is fast. I think DJ is fast. And I think you're going to see a coaching staff that put in a scheme that takes advantage of those guys' advantages, which we hadn't seen a lot here in Jacksonville, but they're not going to beat themselves, man. And if James Robinson, if he can get the tough yardage and he can get swing out passes and just, they're going to be run oriented to set things up, but they're not going to be predictable either. They're not always going to run on first down. I thought last year that they were a little too vanilla and they were a little bit too predictable. They were all running. You can almost close your eyes. Okay, it's run play on first down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was an issue. And I will say with confidence, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be able to run screens successfully this year. Yeah. Jacksonville has not ran screens well for the last 5 years. Anytime we run screen plays, there's usually been a disaster. They don't run screens well for whatever reason, whether it was the coaching, the personnel, players, scheme. I don't know. I don't know what the issue was, whether it was Blake, whether it was Gardner. Don't know. But I know with confidence, Urban Meyer and them are going to be able to run screens. Screens, draws. Yeah, we're going to see those a lot. So just get ready for that. See, Nesco said Shenault is Marshawn Lynch at wide receiver. Hey, look, Shenault can really, really make noise this year because he's not going to be the focus of defenses. He's going to get one-on-one, and Marvin Jones is going to draw the top corner most games. Him and depending on, and then DJ Chark is going to draw the next corner. Chenault going to beat any third corner in this league right now. He is. He's going to beat him, and he should be able to beat him consistently. I'm looking for a big year out of Chenault. I didn't realize he had 600 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. I would say he might go up to 1,000, man, this year, depending on how the season goes.
And I'll make this prediction. This is the wild prediction of the night. But you know Treadwell is on that practice squad. You know that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And the rule is you can move up 2 players off the practice squad each game. I think this kid can help them.
Treadwell?
Yep. I don't read nothing in him getting cut and all that. I think Urban Meyer knows what this kid can bring.
Yeah.
And he knows that certain teams that they play, he can be a threat. And I think there is a reason, obviously, why he's on that practice squad. But I don't think he's going to be one of those players where you see all 17 games that he doesn't get activated to the roster. If he get activated, he's playing.
Yeah, I think so too. I like what I've seen.
He's not a speed guy, but I can tell you this: he's a great route runner, and he can find open seams into that defense.
Yeah,
and not blessed with speed, but once he makes the catch, he has a knack of getting extra yardage after the catch too. So
yeah,
I think he would be like the secret weapon.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from Treadwell. I saw him at the scrimmage, and I like what I saw. Like what I've seen in the preseason. He looks like he's probably in the best shape that he's been in years. I'm pretty sure he's focused. He's dedicated. I mean, this may be it for him. If he doesn't make it work here in Jacksonville, he's probably out of the league. You know, this may be his last stop. So I'm looking, like you said, I'm looking for Treadwell to make some noise. Let's see. But I'm going to ask you about one other guy. Let me see what they said first. But in the preseason, he only ran up the middle. Oh, talking about Robinson. Yeah, what they showed in the preseason is not indicative of what you're going to see in the regular season, Troy. So when you watch the preseason games, you're going to see a totally different game plan. Think about the Cowboy game. The game plan against Houston is going to be closer to what they ran against the Cowboys than they did with Cleveland and New Orleans. See, Chenault plays like he's hungry and haven't eaten in months. That boy hungry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I wasn't shocked that he made the team because as soon as he stepped on the field here in Duval, they say he just been scoring touchdowns in practice. Tavon Austin. What do you forecast for Tavon Austin coming up this season?
Well, he went on injured reserve, so he got to miss the first 3 games. But I'll tell you what, man, I like. I mean, he's fast, good route runner, and he's experienced. I mean, he's one of the veterans out there, and I think you're probably looking at a guy that can help you in the red zone. I think you're looking at a guy that got that, a lot of the sideline throws that Trevor can make, those timing routes. I think I've seen a lot of that at practice with him. And you got another guy with speed,
Yeah.
And I'm like Urban, man. I'm a football guy who likes, if you can get more speed at the skill position play, if you can get more speed at those skill positions, you got something good, man. I mean, it only take one mistake for that DB to either get bite on a fake or run the wrong way, misread the ball, and that's a touchdown. That's 50 yards, 40 yards. And I think the more guys that they have on this roster that got the speed, and you got a quarterback like Trevor who can get that ball downfield, you can overcompensate for having a bad offensive line. Put it that way.
Yeah. So,
because I think Urban understands the fact, and particularly like a guy like Austin, I think he understands in this league, you got to score on every opportunity that you get. There's no first down run and hope to get 3 yards and shorten the field. Obviously field position matters,
Mm-hmm.
But scoring often is what's going to win for you. You know, you got to
Yeah.
challenge the defense, and I
Yeah.
think that's how a guy like Austin plays into this thing when once he come back, man, because that's another speed guy that you can put on the outside. There, you might even give him, you know, some some curl routes to utilize him in open field and let him use his speed too. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then think about it. I was thinking about this the other day. Um, Take some of the current great quarterbacks and past great quarterbacks. So like Patrick Mahomes' offensive line wasn't good last year.
No.
Like they weren't good. They had lost some guys, and you saw it came to a head in the Super Bowl where he couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning's offensive line, Jeff Saturday and Tariq Glenn is the only two I can name off the top of my head of that line when Peyton was there in Indianapolis. Andrew Luck never had a good line, which pretty much it forced him to retire early because he dealt with injuries. And then he also had that bad, I think Woody had a skiing accident where he injured himself as well. But they can overcome a bad offensive line. Trevor just has to get the ball out of his hands, but you don't want that to linger. You want
No.
to build this offensive line. You want to build it.
And that's one thing I like about Urban Meyer, and one thing that I didn't like about Doug Marrone. I just don't think that Urban Meyer is going to sit for
Yeah.
17 games
Appreciate you,
and
Troy.
allow a mistake to continue on and on and on and on. I don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah.
I think that if they have if it turns out to be a bad offensive line with so many protection breakdowns,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna try everything within his power to try to bring someone else in, make changes on the line. If he got to move Jawan to inside or guard, or bring someone outside, or play the rookie walk a little, or have to switch him to a side, or even move Cam to the opposite side, move him to the right side. I think this guy will do everything in his power to fix that offensive line to give. You got to protect Trevor, man. You can't, and we're already seeing some of the things. He's going to have a moving pocket. I mean, he's not going to always be step back, three back. I mean, 3-step drop and throw. He's going to roll out a whole lot because of the protection
Mm-hmm.
breakdown. And he's gonna get the ball out of his hand, and he's gonna have to use his feet some. He's gonna have to rely on his legs some to create plays. We don't
Yeah.
want to see him running a lot, but as I agree with you, I mean, I don't think you have to have this super over imposing offensive line, and 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 you have to have that to have a dominating offense. I mean, I think you
Yeah.
got to have the skill position players. I think you got to have a good running game, and I think you have to set the like. I agree when he put a lot of emphasis on tempo. You got to have a tempo. You got to do something to like keep that defense off balance, even if you
Yeah.
have a bad offensive line. You got to. I would like to see more guys in motion. I want to see more motion plays. I want. I don't want to see Trevor have to run a lot.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to see Trevor running a lot. And running for his life and taking us some unnecessary hits.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I think that he's going to take some hits early that's going to be on him. They're going to
yeah,
blame the offensive line, but then when you go review it, they're going to say, well, this is on Trevor. It's not on the offensive line. And it's going to be part of his learning process, and it's going to be necessary. But
yeah,
eventually, he's going to get enough of getting hit, and he's going to get the ball out. He's that internal clock of his internal clock already seems to be fast.
yeah,
I know Blake Bortles, when Blake was here, they want to speed up his internal clock for him to
yeah.
get the ball out of his hands. Same with Blaine Gabbert. Stop holding on to the ball. Get the ball out of your hands. Speed up that internal clock. I don't think you're going to have to do that type of coaching with Trevor. I think
No,
once he sees it, he's going to have to just, trust it, throw the ball.
yeah.
Throw the ball or throw it out of bounds or run.
And play with tempo. I mean, that's one of the things about Kansas City that a lot of people don't talk about, but man,
Yeah.
their tempo. I mean, it's like boom, 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 boom. I mean, they keep the defense on their heels because they go no huddle or whatever. But
Yep.
it's like 0-0-1-2-3 and the ball there. This and the chains are moving. They're going back. He's stepping back, and it's just man, you can be a
Mm-hmm.
great defense, but boy, if you always backpedaling, you shifting, and you you don't know what the
Mm-hmm.
heck is coming next. You'd be amazed how many things can open up for your offense when you keep that defense off guard. And that's what this team has to do. They got to play with tempo. They gotta have no huddle. They gotta keep moving it. They gotta what I call sprint in the flash, man. You gotta have a sprint in the flash offense. Just keep those. But they bring it in, guys. You about to snap the ball. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm looking for that. Um I'm looking for the bootlegs, rollouts,
Mm-hmm,
like you said,
mm-hmm.
screens, draws, mixing it up. I think play calling. Daryl, they I've seen some things about Daryl Bell and Brian Schottenheimer. Was like, well, they're well traveled. They've been to this many teams, that many teams, but their success with young quarterbacks is well documented,
Oh yeah.
and they're going to make the game incredibly easy for Trevor Lawrence. They're going to just break it down for him and put in the easiest terms, things where he can understand, and not overloading him and not overworking him, you know. But this kid, I think if anybody can handle it, this kid seemed to be able to handle it, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if by mid-season he doesn't have full playbook and he's changing plays at the line of scrimmage.
Oh yeah. I agree. I think we're going to see the best. I really feel we're going to see the best of Trevor Lawrence in November, December.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the time where he's not going to be thinking. He's pretty much going to see what he's going to already seen as far as the defenses, disguises, blitz packages, and all that. I think they're going to find ways to utilize him even better
Mm-hmm.
as the season progresses. I think that man, you're going to see. I've already seen a lot of this kid in a
Yeah.
training camp, but just you have to have more than talent to be successful in this game, man. You got to be mentally ready. You gotta be prepared. You gotta. I mean, there's so many different facets in this game, but I think this kid got it a lot, and I think we'll see the best of his play.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when they go to Seattle, when they come back from the London game.
Yeah. See, that's what I like about Urban Meyer. He has the mind to find out what works. I believe media days are going to be Belichickish.
Oh, what that mean?
Oh, he's gonna be like Belichick now. He ain't gonna give him
He's
much
not
no
gonna
more.
share. He's not gonna share. F
Right.
for the Titans.
Yeah, he said one last thing after Titans. Good night. I'm with you on that.
Oh
The
man.
doggone Titans, man. Oh, before we go, if you haven't seen it, people, NFL Throwback, they're on YouTube, they're on IG, and even the NFL reposts their videos that they post because I guess they're affiliated. NFL Throwback did a special on Fred Taylor documenting his career. It's about 15 minutes or so. It's excellent. Fred himself talking about his first games, his best games, times he's been injured, and just his career, talking about his teammates, talking about Jones Drew and stuff. And it's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Fred Taylor, just watching that video, you got to make a case for Fred to be in the Hall of Fame, man.
But you know what, Brandon? Right quick, man.
Mm-hmm.
Living outside of Jacksonville when Fred Taylor played in here, I'm still shocked that Fred Taylor is not like revered in Jacksonville. I
Yeah.
I I, I mean, I I I I think he might be the greatest player to ever put on that uniform in Jacksonville, in my opinion.
I think so too.
I know he was hurt and all that, but for a guy that played college right down the street and came to Jacksonville and probably had a better career. Well, no, probably he had a better career in the NFL than he did in college.
Yeah.
And you know, I always imagined that he would be much bigger in Jacksonville for what all the things that he accomplished with his career than he is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because like you said, he had a better pro career than college career. You know, he was in that Steve Spurrier. I forgot the name of that offense, but he was in that offense, and all they did was throw the football. They didn't run the
Yeah.
football like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he even talked about it himself. He said after his first couple of preseason games, there was whispers that he was a bust. You know, and James Stewart goes down in the third game. He gets a chance to play his first carry, 52 yards against the 2000 Ravens defense for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know about Fred Taylor right there. One thing about it, he's not revered, I think, like he should be here in Jacksonville. But the people who do revere him is his competitors, his peers, peers. When you talk about when great defenders talk about him, you can see it in their eyes. Like Fred is one of the best players they've ever faced in their life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that game he had against the Dolphins and that playoff game, he ran that long run, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it just got he's got some plays in his career, long runs, breaking tackles, getting around the edge, and just like he won against 11.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I just always thought coming back home that, man, this guy is a legend.
Yeah.
It should have maybe even, I ain't gonna go that far, but man, he ain't too far from having a statue.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right,
he was
man.
that good, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know he talked about the 234 yards, his career high against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that in pretty much 3 quarters. And he said that he started cramping up at the end of the third quarter. And he said that's one of the biggest regrets of his career is that his body cramped up on him and he left the single game rushing record on the field. He said because he was at 234 mid third quarter. He said that him getting that 295 to 296 yards, he said it was in striking distance. And that's one of his biggest regrets, that his body cramped up.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what the Hall of Fame voters, because I think Leroy Butler should be in the Hall, and I think that
Oh my God, that's another one. Leroy
Fred
Butler
Taylor
should be in.
be in the Hall, and I agree with Ernesto. I mean, I think that he should have been in the Hall 3 times already. I mean, he probably should have been in the Hall like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what are they judging, man? It's got to show it's always great when especially a running back, shines in the biggest games against the toughest opponents. He always had the biggest games against the teams in the AFC Central.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, we talking about a division where he faced Pittsburgh twice. He faced the Ravens twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, like, come on, man. You faced Tennessee. Like, it's and the Colts. The AFC Central was a bloodbath. It was basically what the AFC North is now. That's what the AFC Central was. Yeah.
People don't understand. I would feel like him if I was him. I mean, I think that Fred shouldn't have to defend his career. I think that he shouldn't have to go on radio shows and podcasts to defend his record. It's like, man, this guy doesn't. I mean, that record should speak for itself. He should already be in the Hall, man. And it's like, I don't get it. I mean, what more do the guy have to be other than, he probably might be the greatest player ever in this franchise history. And I know Tony Pacelli get a lot of that, but I don't know, man. Fred is what you call a playmaker. I mean, he got in the end zone, and he got runs that 9 out of 10 running backs wouldn't have got the yardage that he got without the hole being in front of him. He made holes just on his speed alone.
Yeah.
He outran guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, man, what is the criteria, man? It's like, come on, man. I mean, if anybody should be from the Jaguars past in the Hall, I think Fred did more. I mean, I know, I don't know. I mean, there'd be some arguments at receiver, but
yeah, Jimmy's the only one other than Jimmy, but Fred is the guy. When they did the top 25 Jaguars in the history, Fred came in at number 2 behind, of course, Tony Pacelli. And Fred has something to say about that. Fred took issue with that. He said, "There's no way that Tony Baselli is better than him." There's not to poo-poo Tony Baselli and say that Tony wasn't good, because Tony was great for the time that he played. But no player in Jaguars history was better than Fred Taylor. The record speaks, like you say, the record speaks for itself.
And I'll say this, Tony was great as a tackle.
Yeah.
But Tony, even for greatness of Tony Baselli couldn't get down 15 yards down the field and spring a block for for Fred Taylor. I mean, a lot of that was Fred Taylor running ability, vision, and the elusiveness and getting open, getting around guys. I mean, it ain't like those guys out there, those safeties was somewhere, covering a receiving, and they just allowed Fred Taylor to run by him. I mean, come on, man. You go back and look at that game in Miami and that long run he had. I mean, his 11 guys could have tackled him. Did 11 guys do it? No. He outran and out-juked, outdid everything. And I think you got to appreciate greatness, Greatness don't die because the guy don't play anymore. I think you appreciate greatness once the player has left the game. And this guy, I'm almost to the point, like, man, what more do a guy like Fred Taylor? Is it because Jaguars got a losing history, or is it just, I don't know?
Right. Oh, we got Barber J Mac. He keep me clean. He keep me fresh. Go see J Mac. Got J Mac in the building. Say Fred Taylor is hands down the Hall of Famer.
That right.
You got that right, Jay. Yeah,
No
Yeah, see, and he never got in any trouble on the field or off. He said, I think him playing most of his career in Jacksonville is what keeps him out of the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Yeah, a small market. It's only because Jacksonville was a small market, an expansion team. He didn't get the national notoriety that I think he should have, and that's him only making one Pro Bowl is because he played in Jacksonville. And there was other great backs, of course, during his time. But him not getting more than one Pro Bowl is him playing in Jacksonville. Because when I seen players like, I forgot it was one year where Calvin Johnson didn't have a great year. He didn't have a Pro Bowl worthy year, but he got the nod over, I think, I don't know if it was it might have been Allen Robinson at the time. Mm-hmm. Allen Robinson, that we felt like should have been in the Pro Bowl that year, and he didn't get it, but Calvin Johnson got it. And when you compare the stats, there's no comparison. And say, okay, it's a popularity contest. That's what the Pro Bowl is.
Yeah, that's what it is. A popularity contest, and the winning teams get rewarded. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's amazing that the winning teams have 6-7 guys go to the Pro Bowl,
and you can be the same guys year in and year out too, man.
Yeah.
There's some things. I mean, it's a great league. The NFL is. I mean, I think the play is good to watch. I mean, the play, the talent. But boy, it also is a lot of politics.
It is.
This big market, small market. I mean, I don't like the fact. I don't. I just mentioned this briefly, but man, I don't like the fact when people criticize Jacksonville when they in their own towns and got a mountain full of problems, and then out of all the things you can do, criticize Jacksonville. And my old co-worker, man, I mean, he's a good guy, but he missed the boat on his column about this Green Bay Saints game and the reason why the Saints chose Jacksonville. That stuff is getting old, man. New Orleans, bless their soul, that hurricane and the things that they're going through right now. But man, come on. There's no way that New Orleans is so much better than Jacksonville. That's not true at all.
Right.
I mean, they got infrastructure problems, they got crime problems, they got this problem, they got that problem. And, Jacksonville, I don't know if maybe it goes back to the Super Bowl when we didn't have enough hotel rooms. I don't know what it is from this national perspective or whatever, but Jacksonville shouldn't be like the laughing stock of the NFL. I've been to NFL cities, and Jacksonville offers as much as those cities, man. The only thing I would like for Jacksonville to be it has to be a better entertainment around the stadium. You got to
Yeah.
make Bay Street like an entertainment district.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Make
that's
it a
how.
bar crawl.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just you got to make something where you make it a attraction and not make it just like, okay, everybody leave downtown when they go home from work on Friday, and there's a ghost town after that. But you got to have the vision, and you got to have, whether we like it or not, or whether politicians like it or not. If you go to any major city in this country, yeah, they're gonna be bars. Yeah, they're gonna be sports bars. Yeah, they're gonna be people drinking beer and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be a town that that don't that don't allow people to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Hey,
bottom line.
I agree with you 1,000% on the people in the national media's perspective on Jacksonville and how they treat the city, how they talk about the city. You got people who have opinions of the city who's never lived here,
Yeah,
never spent any significant time here, and they come here maybe once or twice for an event, and then they go off of hearsay. And it's laughable at this point, man, because you want to we did a stream a while back, and we talked about matter of fact, I think we brought up the whole Randy Moss thing when he talked about the crime rate here in Jacksonville,
hmm,
and people in the chat were listing cities where the crime rate is awful.
yeah,
Like, come on, the Miami Dolphins.
yeah.
Have you been out to that stadium and seen where that stadium is? That's a rough area. That area needs some lotion. It's
Yeah,
rough over there.
it is, and it's right off the turnpike where they charge you. If you coming north into Miami and you try to get to that stadium, they automatically you gonna get charged to be on the toll road. And I'll give you some cities. I mean, Indianapolis. I mean, come on, man. Indianapolis,
It's
to
nothing
me,
there.
hell, Jacksonville got some better things than Indianapolis.
Yeah,
Cincinnati. What is special about Cincinnati? Nothing.
nothing.
New Orleans, crime. I mean, they got a French Quarter, but look, infrastructure bad. I went there for the game, and they haven't even cleaned the roof of the stadium. They
Yeah,
had a little clear spot where they renamed the Superdome the Caesar Superdome, and that was the clean area. The rest of it was almost black. You
yeah.
know, and
Shoot, Tampa. What's
yeah,
special about Tampa? I've been to Tampa many times.
yeah.
Tampa doesn't stand out. You know,
And
I
like you
mean,
said,
so it's
Miami got crime and a whole lot of issues. I mean, you go Arizona. Arizona is a clean city, but there's not much in Phoenix, Arizona. You know,
yeah,
they got
yes, it
nice
can't.
stadiums.
Yeah. J Max say can't be a host of football and not allow bars in your city.
Yeah, that
You
don't work.
beer,
Yeah,
beer. You got to have it.
yeah,
Spirits.
you
You got to
gotta
have it.
allow people to have fun, man. It's a stressful world, man. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Jacksonville, where the Jacksonville probably had the strongest blue laws in the country. They used to have sheets. You go into 7-Eleven on a Sunday in 1977 in Jacksonville. They
Mm-hmm.
would have sheets over the alcohol. You couldn't even see the beer, let alone buy it. They had like
Wow.
they were drapes that would be where the alcohol was being sold, and it was draped over, like it was you couldn't see where alcohol was. And I think that one thing back in the 70s, I mean, First Baptist Church had a whole lot of power in Jacksonville in the politics and how things went, you know. But
Yeah.
that was then and this is now, man. You want Jacksonville to be a progressive city, and you want to have events. You want to be known as the bold new city of the South, is what
Yeah.
we've been called for 40 years. Then you got to make Bay Street an entertainment district. You know,
Yeah.
it's getting there, but
It's
it's
getting
got
there.
to it's got to get to the point where people are having a good time.
Yeah. Say J Max said, "Nah, we're not gonna diss the home of the Hurricanes now." Hey, come on now. Miami's a great city. There's a lot to do down there. The nightlife in Miami is second to none.
Yeah,
That nightlife in Miami and the nightlife in Atlanta are pretty much the same to me. I done been there with both, and after everybody knows in Jacksonville, after 10 o'clock, you might as well go ahead and wrap it up. Like after 10 o'clock, wrap it up. There's no good places to eat like that. There's no really good clubs or anything like that unless you're trying to get shot or something like that. We know this, but Miami and Atlanta, dude, we was on South Beach. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. We had been out partying, me and an ex-girlfriend and some friends, and we was like, we hungry. So I was like, man, okay, well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Probably got to get McDonald's or something. Don't really want it, but I'm hungry. I'll go ahead and bite the bullet and eat it. So I say, well, pull up the maps. Let's see what's open. Everything was still open. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, BurgerFi was open. So we went to BurgerFi. They had the dim lights. They had hip-hop, unedited hip-hop music playing, beers on tap, burgers, and the place was packed. And I was like, wow, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. This will never happen in Jacksonville, Florida, ever.
But that's what gotta happen. That's what's
gotta happen here, though.
Gotta happen, man. You either gotta, put more Buffalo Wild Wings around and let them stay open until 4 o'clock in the morning or something. You gotta make this place an entertainment district.
Yeah.
Man. If you gotta build more hotels, build more hotels, but infrastructure wise, neighborhood wise, I mean, Jacksonville compared to other cities in this country, man. I wouldn't want to live in LA. I wouldn't want to live in Houston with all that traffic. And, Dallas is a nice town, but, hey, you might get a ice storm in Dallas in the wintertime,
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I think that Jacksonville, I always say about Jacksonville, I think that we over politics. We got too many politics. We over police a little bit too much here.
Yeah.
And we gotta be more diverse. I think the biggest problem with Jacksonville has got to be diversity has to play a bigger role here.
Yeah. Say Nesco said, yeah, it's getting better here in Jacksonville, but they moving like turtles. Yeah, they are. They're taking forever. It's little by little. They're trying to add things. What they need to do. The Lot J thing, that going down the tubes. Yeah. It was predictable, when I saw that. But I say somehow, some way, Shad Khan will get what he wants.
He pretty much got that now. He's getting that Four Seasons hotel. They already got to approve his practice facility. He probably throw up some office buildings there where he can get good rent coming back where he can make money. So I think things are moving in that direction. I still want to see Bay Street be an entertainment district, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and you got the Intuition Ale right there on that corner.
Yeah, on that corner.
You got Calvert Chop House. You got a few little nightclubs and bars. You got Island Girl Cigar Bar down there on the other side of Calvert. So they got little by little, more stuff is coming up.
But make it a pedestrian street. Put up nice lights and throw a Ferris wheel. Make it nice.
Something. Yeah, make it nice.
From say Main Street to the stadium, make it. Grow up a little amusement park or whatever it takes. Just get something down there where there's a attraction that the residents have a reason to go down there. Someone from Gainesville have a reason to just have a good time on a Saturday. Get food to eat. And they want to take in a game at the stadium.
Yeah.
It's all for the taking. You got the river there. I mean, there's not a lot of cities that's got a river like St. John River, man. It's a beautiful river right there, downtown, middle of it,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to take advantage of your benefits.
Let's see, Troy Davis said, Troy is back. He just watched the feed Fred YouTube, and it's fire. Yeah, definitely needs to be in Hall of Fame. Yeah, man, we just talked about that, Troy. Yeah, Fred definitely needs to be in Hall of Fame. But I'm under this belief, I think I said to you before, and I've told this to a couple of people. I said that Trevor is going to be successful here in Jacksonville. I feel it. Yeah. I say whether it's urban or it's another regime, at some point, that kid's going to be good. Now, how much he's going to win here, don't know. But he's going to be legit. he's going to be good. And I think that he's going to bring a wave here to Jacksonville. He's going to bring a lot of attention, and he's going to bring a lot to the city just by his presence alone. Like the impact that he's having already, seeing like the NFL runs their commercials and they have star players that they like to promote on those commercials. So they had Patrick Mahomes, I saw they had Josh Allen, quarterback from Buffalo, and I think Alvin Kamara and some other another might have been Jalen Ramsey. And you got all of them. They show clips of them playing. Guess what? Another clip they show. They show Trevor Lawrence in his practice jersey running out for training camp.
Yeah,
I said that right there shows you what the NFL already knows.
yeah,
What they see. The NFL is going to eat off of Trevor Lawrence as well. They're going to market him as well. They're just waiting. They wanted to market Gardner Minshew. Gardner had a commercial with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson early in his run in what's that 2019. Yeah, they ran a national commercial after his third game. He was on a commercial with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. They want to market Trevor Lawrence, man. They want to do that. So I think he's going to be successful.
I do too, man. I think that one thing that you touched on, even though some of the publicity about the Jaguars has been negative, I think even from training, I think from the draft up to right now, I think that the Jaguars franchise has been more in the spotlight now than they probably even was before they made the run in the playoffs in 2017. And I think it's going to get bigger if they're successful.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about them on NFL Network daily. I mean, you look around CBS Sports, write something, I mean, it's probably about 9 or 10 different publications that's devoted just to Jaguar news in the area. And I think that's Urban Meyer, and I think that's Trevor Lawrence, and I think if these guys, I mean, nothing is more exciting than covering a team that's relevant. It's like matters. Matters if they win or lose, or matter that this is a big game. And I think eventually you're going to see more Monday night games for this team. You're going to see Sunday night games. This kid is not going away, man. I have never spoke this highly of anybody, of an athlete, because so much can go on in sport. You can blow out a knee, you can get in trouble, you don't live up to expectations. But man, even from the first week of practice in the OTAs, man, it's just something special about this kid, man. This kid he's not a rookie. It's like this step don't phase. I think I said on your show 2 weeks ago, Urban Meyer was talking about, we're gonna, basically we're not gonna hand him the job. He's gonna have to earn it. And then we asked the kid, well, what do you think about being in this quarterback company? He's laughing.
Laughing. Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, I understand, you gotta compete. Nobody gonna hand you anything like that, man. But this kid, like when he invited those guys out to Clemson, those receivers, Marvin Jones and LaVisca and those guys, he knew what the situation was going to be. He knew that I'm coming in here, all the expectations, I'm gonna live up to it. It doesn't. This stuff doesn't phase him. I think he's going to Houston, and he's gonna be in the spotlight. Houston gonna try everything in the world to unravel this kid. And he's gonna still be laughing when that game over with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, Nesco say the city needs a permanent amusement park immediately that stays open late. We have the land like Savannah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He said, but it's Trevor. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said you got to make your identity. It doesn't matter if you didn't have identity in the 60s, you didn't have identity in the 80s or the 90s. It's time now for Jacksonville to establish their identity. We don't care what happened 20 years ago. We just care about what's going to happen next year, the year after that. Make it a fun place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely believe that. Make it a fun place. Let's see. Troy say, but is Trevor the same as Luck? That's what scares me. He will be good, no doubt. But Luck said, I'm done. and I think Trevor may be the same type of guy.
Oh Lord, what's this? Come
Well,
on, Troy.
well, you got to think about it too, Troy. And I get what he's saying. Trevor said it that football isn't his life, of course. And I like that about him. He's like, hey, if football's taken away from me today, I continue to live my life. Basically, what that means.
Exactly.
But the circumstances where Andrew Luck left the game versus what Trevor is and what he might be and what it end up being, I think it's two different scenarios. In that, not only was Andrew Luck beat up and he was hit, probably one of the most hit quarterbacks in his time in the league, he also had that skiing accident that changed the trajectory of his career, because he missed a lot of time after that skiing accident.
Yeah. But another thing, Brandon, and I keep saying this, the coach sat back and allowed them to have a bad offensive line season after season when Luck was the quarterback, and they did nothing. They didn't work hard enough to improve that line in
Right.
Here in Jacksonville, I just don't think that he's going to sit back and allow this kid to get hammered, beat down, or whatever you want to call it, because of a bad offensive line. He'll cut him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not going to sit back and just see game after game this kid getting beat, and then get put out, get hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the powers when you have all the power invested into a coach. I mean, it's not always the best rule to be the head coach, the head general manager, and the decision maker on everything. But when you with this franchise they've had problems with structure, they've had problems with who's in charge, and the people who were in charge wasn't making good football decisions. They
Yeah.
wasn't evaluating. They and I think that this season is going to be, if they get 7 wins, it's a success in my opinion. But
Yes.
I really feel that this is the test season for Irvin. I mean, he's going to learn as he goes. He's going to see exactly what kind of football team he has, and then that second year, I don't think you're going to see the same mistakes. If he makes mistakes this season, you're not going to see the same mistakes next year.
No, you won't. I think both of them, Urban and Trevor, are going to learn from their mistakes and won't make them twice. See, the people making decisions for Jacksonville aren't looking ahead. They have an outdated approach that goes against the times.
But you know what? That's so true of a statement. And another thing adding to that statement is it's been a mistake for the last 40 years. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's politicians that don't want to see Jacksonville be a progressive. We don't need to be Miami. We don't
No.
need to be Atlanta, but
Nope.
we need to be a major city. We need to have attractions here that's not nowhere else but here. And
You at least want to be Orlando like.
yeah, you gotta have a vision. You can't be a progressive city if you don't have a 10 or 15-year plan. You can't
Yeah.
have the landing, it don't work, and then okay, well, we're not gonna do nothing in that spot. We're gonna make it a green area. Yeah, that's fine for the people who like that, but you want to have progress. You don't want to come back 10 years and it still look the same as it did 15 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't want to get into the soapbox, but I know, living in this town my whole life, I remember growing up when we, you know, even when I was like 7 years old, man, like my auntie, they had the Center Theater and they had the Florida Theater downtown. You know, a lot more people back in the 70s caught the city bus than obviously they do now. But the one thing I could take away from the 70s as a kid in Jacksonville, everybody went downtown on the weekend. You had Grant's department store, you had Morrison's cafeteria, you had father and son shoes on Hemming Plaza, across on Hemming Plaza, and you
Yep.
you my auntie, my mom, they were sisters, so man, we would make a family thing where we'd go. Man, I used to see Bruce Lee movies and the ladies sing the blues, and it was like a Saturday of fun downtown Jacksonville. They had J.C. Penney, Sears, and you know, for the life of me, it's almost like Jacksonville downtown was more progressive in the 70s than it is now. And I don't understand. You took away Hendon Plaza, you put that people mover up, and
Mm-hmm.
you took the sunlight, and then you just it totally don't look nothing like it did in the 70s. All the
Mm-hmm.
stores gone, all the attractions that would lure somebody to come downtown on the weekend, they're all gone. And is
Yeah.
that progress? How can it be progress when you got more people foot traffic downtown in the 70s than you do in 2021? That's not progress. Somebody made a mistake and nobody gonna confess to it. That's what that is.
Yeah.
You can't allow politicians to make mistakes that we gotta live with for the next 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody made a mistake, you know, and
Yeah.
it's time to fix it.
Right.
It shouldn't be a downtown where Monday through Friday, all the foot traffic, and then after Friday at 5 o'clock is dead. That's not progress.
No. No. And then look at all the places that's dying.
Mhm.
Regency.
Yeah,
Regency is afterthought now. Shoot. Gateway.
yep,
Gateway used to be popping, man. Me and my grandmother, we used to go to Gateway all the time. They were almost like Regency. You
yep.
had plenty of stores in there, and it was always packed with people. Now that's a ghost town.
But you know what,
Um,
Brandon? Let's go back to Gateway. Gateway had a chance to be. I think this was like '88 or '89. Magic Johnson came to Jacksonville, wanted to put a megaplex theater. One of those he
mhm,
used to have. He used to own megaplex movie theaters. He wanted to put it either in Gateway or across the street over at Norwood, and they wouldn't approve it. And essentially, it killed them all.
wow.
Those are the mistakes I'm talking about, man. You can't, and it's almost like Lot J in a sense. You can't have politicians in Jacksonville who get mad because people got a plan, and yeah, hey, they're gonna benefit from it. But look,
Hmm.
progress outweighs anybody's pocketbook. It's going to benefit the city in the long run, and that's what you have to develop. You got to have somebody to come here willing to invest. And if you got to get an outside person from outside of Jacksonville to invest, so
Yeah.
be it. You know,
So be it. So be it. Yeah, and let's go say yes, Uncle John. I'm a '70s baby, and I remember all of that. I remember when Jack's
yeah,
Beach had roller coaster rides.
I
They had
know
roller
that's
coaster
right.
rides.
Yes,
That's
sir.
for my
Jacksonville
time.
Beach. Yeah. Man, they had like a midway where you can go in there and play games like you would do at the fair. Let's talk
Hmm.
about the fair. The fair in the 70s
Oh,
was like,
I
man,
don't even go to the fair no more when the fair comes here, man.
yeah,
I
because
haven't been to the fair in years.
man, that's not even, I don't know what that is.
I
But
don't
back
know
in
what
the
it is
day,
either.
the fair was from the Gator Bowl to the old Coliseum. Everything was in the midway. And
Hmm.
it was it was an attraction. It wasn't like on the side of the parking lot like it is now. It was a
Right.
real fair, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, man, they might have had 8, 9 different roller coasters there. You had to go through the Gator Bowl where the cows and all that was. But boy,
Yep.
once you get there, man, and that's just amazing to me, though, man. It just seemed like this town was a better place than it is now to me. That's just my opinion. But
Yeah.
man, we didn't have no Jaguars back in the 70s. We had Florida and Georgia,
Yep.
but we had a whole lot of other things that made it attraction. Like it just
Yep.
we wasn't around here all bored to death, nothing to do. There's a lot of things. The Coliseum used to have concerts like almost every month.
Hmm.
The 70s groups, they had the Commodores and the Shy Lights and people like that. But man,
Yeah. You still have artists, comedians, and all of them who still come here, they bring their concerts here, they bring their shows here. Any major national media or entertainer you could think of pretty much has played Jacksonville at least once in the last decade. Like my first time going to a comedy show was Dave Chappelle. I was 17. He was at the Times Union. Ron White came here, went to see him. Kevin Hart has been here multiple times, seen him. Cat Williams has been here. He did a special here in Jacksonville for Netflix where he talked about Jacksonville, you know. So, I mean, they just it's more things that they have to do. You want to become a modern city. You got to get out of the old times, man. You want to be a modern city. You don't have to pattern yourself after Atlanta and Miami, of course.
No.
But you want the tourist dollar.
Yeah.
You want the tourist dollar.
And we don't want to be bashed by the media. We don't want to be bashed nationally that we don't have this and we don't have that. We put in a bid to be the host of the draft or something. You don't want to hear all this backlash, man.
Right.
You know.
You see, we had something back in the day called Cool City Jams. It was epic. That's what Nesco say.
Yeah, we had something also called Skate City too.
Skate City. Yeah. All you got now is Skate Station. That's what you got now.
That's all that's left now.
Yeah, Skate Station. That's it.
Please, boy, I tell you, boy.
Yeah, man. But man, this was a good show, man. Hey, we almost 3 hours in, man. This is probably the longest stream I've ever done. It's probably the longest stream I've ever done. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We be chatting down. We be chopping it up at the barbershop, man.
That's what it is, man. Hey, you done got your hair.
Nostalgia.
Hey, when I go see J Mac, I get my hair cut and I be there 30 minutes extra. We talking sports, talking life, talking women, talking cars, talking money. You name it, we talking it. Hey, that's just what this is like, man. That's just what this is like.
Well, the good Lord, he blessed me with a permanent haircut.
Hey, you sound like my dad. My dad, he's starting to thin right up here in the top. And he said, I can't wait for it to all go. So I can, that expense, don't have that expense no more. You tired of paying for haircuts.
Let's tell him to let it go, man. Don't try to keep it, man.
Yeah.
Don't want to.
You see, let's go say Skate City, Come Together Day, drive-in theaters. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Reebok, when I saw more Bruce Lee movies on the Reebok drive-in than any other place, man.
Yeah.
The Reebok drive-in. He's got Reebok drive-in on Sutel and Pick and Save, man. You go get your snacks and Pick and Save.
Oh yeah. Shoot, my Come Together Day. That was mine. Come Together Day. Me and my brothers Come Together Day. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. So you remember PDQ, man?
PDQ?
Yeah, it used to be a radio station here, WPDQ.
I don't think I remember that.
Might have been before your time.
It might have been before my time. Because the only radio stations I can remember, especially AM, was 1280, 1400, and 1360. I remember them on AM, and then FM 92.7. They're 93.3 today, but they're 92.7 back in the day. V101.5. Like I remember 1010. I know I did some work for 1010.
In the early 80s, they used to have a station here was 90. I think it was 93X. And man, it was.
You say, yeah, John, me too. I was, yeah. Oh yeah, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. Let's see what he say? WPDQ. PDQ. Hey now, Larry Brody.
Hey now, Larry Brody. Now we used to wake up every morning and go to school listening to Larry Brody, man.
Yeah, my mom had me listening to Tom Joyner morning show every morning.
It's a little bit before Tom Joyner.
Yeah.
Larry Brody, man. Yes, sir. Ernesto, man, we from the same era. Mama used to tell us, boy, cut that music down, cut that radio down. It's too early for all that.
Yep, that's the good old days, man.
You're listening to Rick James and Tina Marie, man.
Oh, Fire and Desire.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how them 80s used to bump, man. We used to listen to Wiggy Wiggy and woo, man, jam on it.
Yeah. Shoot, I remember my dad, my
And
first
plenty
hip hop
rock.
song. Yeah, first hip hop song I had ever heard was that I ever remember clearly hearing and remembering was Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. I'll never forget that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
young, Brandon. You young, man.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. You know, hey, you say that to a young person today, they ain't gonna know who Coolio is.
Yeah, I
You know.
know Coolio. That was like in the what is that, late 80s, man.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah,
we grew up
early '90s.
with the Sugar Hill Gang and the Grandmaster Flash.
Mm-hmm. Jam Pony Express.
Jam
I remember
Pony.
that. I remember that, Nesco.
Now wait a minute, Ernesto. Did I see a Florida State? Wait
Oh
a
yeah,
minute.
that remember. Hey, that's why Troy said that.
Oh
That's why he
Lord,
was
we
talking
got
about
a
the
Florida
Florida
State in
State.
there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna remember that one. I want them to get back where they had Dion and the boys, man.
Right. That Florida State is too good of a job and too good of a school to be going through what they're going through. It's a
I
blue
know.
chip. It's a blue chip school, man. You
Yeah,
know.
they got to get back being a blue chip, man.
Yeah. That
Hey,
chip kind of brown right now.
shit, we live in Florida, man. We supposed to be where the football is played, man, especially college.
Yeah.
They supposed to have three teams in the top 10: the Hurricanes, the Noles, and the Gators.
Yeah. If they can keep Florida talent in Florida,
Well,
that's all they got to
they
do.
did it before. They gotta whatever worked. They gotta continue it, man.
Stop letting Bama and Ohio State and Texas and Oklahoma and them come in here, come in your backyard. Clemson got a lot of players from Jacksonville.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, stop letting them come in and take the players from Florida. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
keep
see,
the
Uncle John, stop. You
home.
killing my nose.
Well, I'm rooting for them because I don't like Notre Dame, man.
I
So
don't like Notre Dame either.
come
I
on,
would
man.
like to see them beat Notre Dame.
I'm rooting for the home state team tomorrow, man. I don't want to see Notre Dame win nothing in Florida, man.
No, definitely don't. Definitely don't, man. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. I will be back with another live stream. I don't know, by the end of this week. I might do something tomorrow or Sunday. We'll see. But we definitely will be back next week, Mr. Reid.
Hey,
Yeah, we
one
will
thing.
be. Yeah, go ahead.
Rebolt, Harbor View, Trojans for life.
For sure.
And
So
Yancey
next week,
Park.
Yancey Park. I remember Yancey Park. We'll be previewing the Jaguars versus the Texans next week. And so we'll do a deep dive on that and keys to the game and everything like that. So, and any other crazy stories that pop up, because it seemed like every week is something. It's something to talk about. Even we talk about it today, but Sha'Carri Richardson is continuing to step in it, Mr. Reid. She
Man.
won't stop. She won't stop. She won't stop. She's still going.
She trying to get out of track or something, man. So,
Something, man.
I don't know what's
She,
going on with that, man.
Oh, he go. Hey, Nesco wife, Tanya say, I just had to jump on and say, go Gators.
Well, we'll see what them Gators do against Alabama, man. I know they have an easy win on Saturday, and then I don't know who they play next week. Then they got them Crimson Tide.
Oh yeah, It's gonna be something.
You know, I
It is
like the
gonna be
Gators
something.
too, man. They're the closest team to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna continue to get better because I think they have one of the best head coaches in the nation.
Yeah.
Mullen is great. He's a great coach. He's a
Yeah.
great coach. Just looking at what he did at Mississippi State, where the talent you get at Florida versus talent you get at Mississippi State is different, and he made Mississippi State relevant. It's only going to be a matter of time before he does the same with Florida. I think Florida is going to be good going into the future. He has to get the quarterback position right, though. You got to get quarterbacks in there. That's what's going to change the face of your franchise and your team is the quarterbacks. Clemson got to where they are because they started getting better and better quarterbacks. I always had great skill position players, but once you get the Deshaun Watsons and the Trevor Lawrences, things change pretty quickly.
Then you're able to get better talent based on the quarterback too, especially at the skill position players. Yep.
Say Shikari got beat again today. Sad. Yeah, she got beat again, and she's still talking trash.
So that's why she's talking trash, because she can't win. Man, she need to just go on and get off social media and get back to the track and just focus, man.
Yeah, she got to, man, because this is it's getting sad at this point.
Jeez, boy, she may not even be ready for the next Olympics.
And that's 4 years away. Yeah, and she may never be ready, man. It's crazy. But we definitely gonna talk about that, especially next week, because I know between now and next week, it's gonna be some other stuff.
Yeah. All right, people.
All right, people. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. Follow Mr. Reid on his social media. Follow him on Twitter. Check him out, Jacksonville.com. Florida Times-Union covers the Jaguars. I appreciate you for y'all tuning in. Appreciate you for coming on with me, Mr. Reid. And we will be back with other shows. But for now, we are out of here. Peace.
People.